as you guys were all leaving, so I have to actually go back to the kitchen for a second. But
Well, well, we're live now, so
oh,
I
okay.
guess they heard you say that.
Oh no, gotta go back to the kitchen. Who else is coming? Do you know?
I don't know, honestly.
Okay. Did Hillary's go to bed or something?
Yeah,
Ah,
that's why I made this.
aha.
But there's probably gonna be some dead air because I need to do something really quick as well. So
All right. All right. So yeah, I'll be back.
well, I don't know. Maybe he's watching the game off air. But I may post a link as well, since this one guy probably wants to come on. Again, I wasn't really planning on going live, but people wanted me to go live considering Hillary was going to sleep, so I was like, fine. Uh, hey, it's this one Jew. What's up?
Not much. Yeah, I joined the other stream and then it just went out. I just got there.
Oh well. Let
Who are
me pin.
you?
What was that?
I'm not too loud, am I?
What was that?
I said I'm not too loud, am I?
No.
Okay, good. Turn down my volume. What's going on tonight? What's the news?
Nothing much.
Hmm. Yeah, same here. I was supposed to go driving, but my wife ended up just calling the places, so I took away from my driving. So now I have nothing to do, and I'm just sitting here like, well, what the f? Kids are going to bed, so they got in school learning today or tomorrow, something like that. Spirited Atheist. Now, there's a name I haven't seen since like Nakasuchi was going live, like 3, 4 years ago.
I'm sorry, what?
I said
Oh,
Frustrated
frustrated
Atheist. Yeah,
atheist.
a name I haven't seen in forever.
Yeah, well, I see him on Twitter every now and then, Mr. Frustrated Atheist.
It now, not Twitter. You have to call it X. It's called X now.
I don't care, okay? Fuck you. It's Twitter to me, okay?
I never used it. I think I have an account still on it.
Yeah, well, you should use it. It'll drive you insane. Which is a good or bad thing, I guess, depending on who you ask.
And give other people the opportunity to make themselves look like shit? I don't think so. Why would I want to do that to them?
Because people do a good job of doing it themselves. That only
That's what I'm
helps.
saying. I don't need them to. I don't need to add to their stupidity.
You should only add to your own.
Of course. But then it's a difference, you see, because my stupidity is like above other people's stupidity.
Oh, I see. So even at your most stupid, you're more intelligent than the average person. Is
And
what
that's
you're
not
saying.
it's not an intelligence thing. It's just that it's better. It's like a status thing, right? It's like, oh, okay, because he's such a
Oh, I'm
there's
sorry
he
to
can
hear
do
that.
more.
Frustrated. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh wow, yeah.
You know, quite frankly, I'm not sure how I would feel if my mom died. That's a good question, actually. I don't know.
What'd you say? Sorry, my wife texted me.
I said I'm not sure how I would feel if my mom died. I mean, we're not really close, so I don't know if I'd be sad about it.
Go through her purse, like, well, she ain't gonna need this money. It's fucking gone. These are my cards now. This is my fucking family inheritance.
Yep.
I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably just like throw all my mom's shit out. That's all that's left to do is just throw out all the garbage and shit of their lives, and then or donate it or some shit like that, right? Then find somewhere to bury her, chuck her in the ocean, cremate her, go chuck her somewhere outside in the wind, and a bin in a toilet just to be an ass, just because it's funny. I flush my mom down the toilet. I don't know. I think that'd be funny. Oh yeah, Pixie.
Oh
You
my
said.
god, Pixie is here. Yay, come on. I have a special seat just for you. I will remove Tog just to let you in, even though I can have 10 people. Tog, you're fired. Fuck off. Thanks to you.
Spit out my weed. Thanks.
Weed.
Weed. Well, it's better than spitting out my whiskey.
Yep.
Did you know that I was drinking last night?
Yes.
Oh, good. Hope I handed my liquor well. Liquor well. That. It's been a while since I last had a drink, since like maybe October. It's been too busy. I keep telling myself I'm gonna have a small little drink, and then I never get to because I get too busy. I was happy, like at least Martin Luther King, right? On his day, I get to have a break and do a nice little drink. So yeah, it's always nice to have a little one every now and then. Hold up, my wife's throwing me something.
Pixie should come on. You should definitely click the link that's pinned. You know what? My name is too fucking long. I gotta find a way to shorten this bitch.
You just make it, bitch.
Yeah.
Turn this bitch.
I'll call my channel Afina the bitch. There you go.
The bitch. Wisdom is a nasty teacher.
No shit.
What went on in the last stream?
Well, the last stream that Hillary's had, we were talking about Irenic and how stupid he is when it comes to homosexuality. Then I guess they got into talking about BDSM and all that. I was still there, but I wasn't really paying too much attention. And since Hillary's had to go to sleep, I started one, even though I didn't really want to.
Sorry you felt coerced into starting a stream.
I mean, I could have said no, but I was like, fuck it. I mean, I was expecting a few others to come on. Space decided to go to the kitchen.
That sounds so sexist.
It is.
Right,
It
she's gonna go
is.
to the kitchen.
Yeah, it is sexist.
Huh.
Hello, it's been a while.
Hey, Pixie.
You're muted.
Hello.
How are you?
No complaints.
Well, it's awkward. Fucking
I don't know, life, right? Ups and downs. Got some things coming up that are making me pretty nervous, but you know, overall I'm breathing, so
Yep.
no complaints.
Don't worry, you're gonna be fine.
How are you?
I'm doing as well as I can. You know, just hanging out. Just having this wonderful stream talking to Tog, who has been missing, has been MIA for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Really? I don't know. Like I guess like I saw his stream the other day, and I popped in and said hey real quick, and then I had to run.
Well, I mean, this motherfucker deleted his server. You notice that? He deleted his Discord server. I was like, what the fuck?
Okay, but I haven't been on Discord since he did it, so
all those messages, all those arguments with Lizard gone. Thank you, Tog.
in your mourning this?
I mean, I always mourn every server. Kind
I
of.
had like my notes in there too, and I forgot I had notes in there, so I'm actually
See?
quite depressed it was gone. I forgot that they were in there. I thought I was still joined to Lizard's old server, and I wasn't. And there was a lot of good Christian notes in there, and I was like, "Well, those are all gone. All my other notes."
I used to own server. I used to own servers. I regret deleting. So you know.
I didn't know
everything that
you
was on
could
it.
like not bring it back like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just an oops.
It would be nice. It would be nice if Discord found a way to be like, you can now restore rooms.
Right.
I got a great gift. I got this spectacular gift that I want you to see, ABT. Are you ready? Ready? Oh, no.
Okay, I want it. Can I have it?
I am so excited to read this. You have no idea. So
how is it? Did you start it?
I have not started it yet, but I am so excited to.
Oh, by the way, I'm still open to old books. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Address.
Yes, I know. I've gotta talk myself into parting with these. But like it sucks because I'm out of space until I build more shelves. And I never unpacked some of the boxes of books. But now I just have like stacks of books in my office. Like there's a stack over there, and there's a random stack over there, and there's some mixed in with the kids' coloring books for when my nieces and nephews come over. Like they're just like everywhere now. But this always happens, and then I move, and then I get rid of them, and then I cry, and then this happens again. So I will talk myself into parting with some soon.
I mean, I will feel extremely bad, but God damn it, I want those books, but I also feel bad because you don't want to part with them.
Back, right? Well, when you're done with them, be like, oh, the motherfucker is here. You can have it back.
I mean, true. I guess there's that, but you know, but I'm pretty sure Pixie's gonna miss them every day, like they're their own children, right?
Why
those
don't you just,
children.
Why don't you just go and get a public library card, and then you can do the thing online?
I will part with some of them soon. There's some I might send you though that I will request back just because I want you to read them, but I will do that. Or if I am unwilling to send one that I absolutely think you must read, we can read it together.
Definitely.
I'm so excited about this one. Of course, I love Stephen King, so Stephen King writing a book about writing is fantastic.
That's pretty meta.
I know.
I'm sorry, but that is pretty meta. Oh, guess who
So-
is here? Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while.
Hey, guess who? Stephen King is actually a pretty big influence in my own writing. Like, it's really weird. It's like Stephen King meets Charles Dickens meets Edgar Allan Poe. I have some strange writings.
Hi.
Hi.
Where'd the albino fuck off to? Is he here?
I'm right
Got
here.
scared.
Yes.
He ran away. Oh wait, never mind.
Nobody else said hi to me.
Oh well, sorry. Hello, Will.
I'm gonna get a plane ticket. I'm gonna come to your house. I'm gonna give you a kiss right on the forehead, Muffin.
I mean, don't threaten me with a good time.
I'm fucking. You guys like coffee?
Yes, we love coffee.
Well, you should go to one of my videos and go to the link in the description and buy Coffee Brand coffee, up to 15% off for the referral code.
He comes on here just to chill. What the?
I like Ohori's.
Ah.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to get rid of coffee on the menu for about 8 weeks, and that's gonna suck.
Well, we also sell tea and cocoa.
I
I'm
can't-
literally.
I can't. The reason coffee has to be off the menu is because I don't like cold coffee. So
Oh,
Well, why can't you heat it up? I don't. What?
Do you also have sparkling water? You gotta have the sparkling water just in case they don't like.
no, but you know what we do have? We have toffee. We have toffee bombs. It's peanut butter, or it's toffee coated
You
peanuts.
sold me peanut butter. I love it.
And yeah, you have to go in the gift box section though. I don't know why, but I think it's because all the items on there are like $5 a piece for a bag of like toffee bombs or saltwater taffy.
Think about real shit, right? Real product.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah, I signed up for the affiliate program as a joke, and then I accidentally made money, and now I'm the 7th highest seller with Coffee Brand coffee. So
You
And I'm
signed up
shooting
as
for
an
number-
affiliate for a joke. What? Did you?
yeah,
Did you not think you'd get it?
Do you guys know Bering? You remember that guy?
Yeah, Bearing.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
ahead,
he's
I
part
know
of the
him.
program too, and I am currently beating his ass. So there's that.
Will Kincaid beat the shit out of a bear. Film on
I
11.
did. I beat the shit right out of him.
I'm gonna
Him and,
stick with
him and his
Ohori.
wife. You what?
I'm gonna stick with Ohori's.
No.
They have great coffee.
How much are you paying for a bag of
for some
coffee, though?
hot chocolate. $20 for hot chocolate, some cocoa. Get the fuck out of here.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
go
no,
to
no,
my
no, 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 no,
sister.
no, 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 no. You're not gonna pay $20 for a bag of hot chocolate or coffee. You're gonna use my affiliate link plus my coupon code, and you're gonna save 15% off.
Here's the thing,
Oh.
though. Like,
$5.
I'm willing to pay for my really nice coffee because I really like my really nice coffee because I'm spoiled and I don't actually make coffee. I make double shots of espresso and then turn them into cappuccinos and lattes.
Yeah, but you see, my coffee is made to order, right? It's not sitting on a shelf. It's not some drop ship operation. My coffee is ground just for you in individual batches.
Oh no, I grind mine. And then
Okay,
I
well, you
make the
know-
double shot of espresso.
Okay, well, we also have whole bean. See, you're gonna buy my coffee. I'm
I'm
gonna make
such
sure-
a coffee snob. I have turned into such a coffee snob. It's
I will send
terrible.
you you know what? I will personally send your ass a free bag of coffee. I will, and you will
What
buy
about
my
me?
coffee, and you will like it.
I might, and I might be like,
Midnight, I'm not sending you
this
free
is.
coffee. You're on welfare. I'm not earning your
I might
dollar.
be like, this is
Wow. Fuck
not
you.
my Yemen mocha. It's probably what I'm gonna say.
I'll put my
Fucking
coffee up against
classist.
your
You're
coffee.
fucking classist. Oh,
I
you're
will.
an ableist.
No, I love you. I just can't make any money off of you, so I'm not going to bother selling you the coffee.
But
It's
if I
like
can't
went
get
to
to
a homeless.
Horry's, I'll go to Roasters.
It's like if I asked a homeless guy if he wants his windshield washed. Like that doesn't make any sense.
What was?
Yeah, but I'm
That's
not
his
homeless.
job.
Well, it depends on if the person's living in their car. I guess it would make sense.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. But if you're living in your car, I mean, you need everything for gas, just not freeze in the winter, really.
Well, that's why you pick up all the stray cats, and then that's like all the heat right there.
You're right. You just huddled together in your car for warmth. You just never
Right,
mind
yeah.
the piss smell. Yeah.
Yeah, the piss smells like the free methane, like so it's like free meth. You know, 'cause you're
Right,
getting
right,
high
right.
off
It's
the
like
crystallized
drugs.
cat piss
Yeah.
paper.
That's true. That's true. You can huff cat piss and get really high. I saw it on
You-
South Park.
Yeah,
That's
right.
really strange. Okay.
Yep.
Weird.
Hey,
piece
you
of
haven't lived
information
until
there.
you've huffed cat piss. You know?
No, I think I'm good. I think
Oh,
I think
okay.
I'm good.
So,
No,
well,
you're not
have you
good, but you
huffed-
would be. You would be good if you bought the coffee brand coffee. And then you'd be really good because the coffee's amazing.
I'll stick with
Well,
the Horry's,
well,
even though it's 4
100%
hours
money
away.
back guarantee. Plus
Well,
plus
credit-
plus the price of shipping.
Credit
whole
where
thing.
credit where credit is due. You're a good salesman.
I got it. You can buy this coffee as a gift to your enemies. Give them here's this brand coffee.
I do. I'll have them buy my coffee. I'm the Lyndon B. Johnson of coffee. I'll have that individual buying coffee for
Here, I
100
got this coffee, and I just thought of you so much. You know, because it's that shit coffee, and it's like, here you go. It'll perk up your day.
It's good coffee, and if you don't like it, you can get 100% refund, and they will refund the shipping too. They'll refund the whole fucking thing. And there's a blowout sale this week only, 64% off on select items.
I love how you come on this. You come on here just to fucking chill.
Well, I'm actually at work right now, so I'm doubling up on my.
Man,
I have a
like that
positive
shit,
cash flow
man.
position. You know what I mean? I gotta, It
Well,
was
anything you gotta do to make money, I guess.
it was weird. Now I'm just doing it because it would be funny to outsell Jeremy. To be honest.
You mean bearing?
No, I mean the quartering.
Oh, right, yeah. Wow, he's on there too.
It's his coffee company.
Oh, it
the
is.
funniest
I
part.
did not know that.
That's
What
the
the
funniest part. I'm like, once I reach the top of the leaderboard, the only guy who's left is him, and if I outsell him, then I can die a happy man.
You should just start buying, like, invest.
I told you,
export
told you,
loans into it and just
my
buy your own
my
product.
memoir is gonna be called "I Did It Because It Was Funny at the Time."
Yeah, I now read it.
You see,
should, it'll
he
be-
has to wait to write his book out too, Midnight. There takes time into writing these things out.
Yeah, I know. I'm still writing the Keymaster novel. It's not done, but I'm still writing it. I haven't stopped. I started a new YouTube channel just for my AI content and anything because like the book is an audiobook format in Artifacts, so it's like 30-minute long AI recordings of the actual book. And so I started another channel that's just for my AI content, and that goes up there as I write things. So, all right. Well, speaking of which, my boyfriend is calling me, so I got to call him back
Tell him
now,
I
I guess.
said hi. That I
I
miss
will,
talking
I
to him,
will.
maybe. Not really, but I don't know. Just
On occasion.
Go to Cone Club Cult and then go to the description of any of the newest videos, and then you get 15% off your order, money back guarantee. That's a savings of like a cajillion %. You're not gonna regret it. It's great coffee, and help
Alright,
me
well,
help me sell more coffee than
Let's
actual
beat
fucking
Jeremy,
Jesus.
shall we? Beat Jeremy.
Hell yeah, let's keep Jeremy warm all winter. Yeah, we'll beat him, and then my hatred for everything will keep me warm, and I got a big pecker. All right, I'll see you later.
Why did I come back on camera at that moment? Why? Also later days. The fuck?
Perfect timing, I guess.
That always happens. I always like pop back on camera, or like I have to step away and then I come back, and like I will leave a normal conversation and I will come back and be like, what the fuck just happened?
Well, Whale came on. Fucking. I don't know.
Evidently.
He's
Okay.
killed it. Oh.
My super munchkin's so sweet. She went to the store with her dad like a week ago and she brought me treats. And then I got treats yesterday. And then today, her and Audrey went to the store and she came back and she was like, Mom, I thought about you. And she brought me more treats. She brought me brownie bites and Rolos and I don't even know. She's so sweet. Now I've got lots of chocolate.
Favorite thing in the world. That's why it's like equated to love. I forget. It's supposed to give off some type of chemical.
No, not oxytocin. Dopamine maybe? I don't know.
I forget which one. Well, that's why it's like called the love thing or something. Love food.
An aphrodisiac.
Something like that.
I don't know. I know when I crave it the most, it has nothing to do with that at all. And actually, well, for me, I guess it doesn't really matter because I don't bleed often. But like Super Munchkin is the same way. If she's really craving it, she either started or she's about to. Like in the next week.
My wife's always eating chocolate. That's like fucking. I don't even know how she's still alive. She's eating like a bar of chocolate every morning, or some shit like that. She's always eating candy. I'm like, how are you still alive? Where did you learn such bad eating
Hey, look,
habits?
it's Wild
It
Heart.
makes me wonder.
Hello, Wild Heart, Pixie Wild Heart. Have you met?
Is that a guitar, Wild Heart?
I don't think so. Nice to meet you, Pixie. How's it going?
Sorry.
Time will tell, I suppose.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Carry on. Or not.
I wasn't talking. I don't, or at
No,
least I
no.
don't think I was.
Not you, no. I'm just saying carry on with the topic.
The,
I've not been watching.
is that a guitar that I see?
It is, yeah.
I spy with my little eye.
It's a guitar with one string missing, the top string. I've been trying to get it in tune, kind of. Yeah. But it's got one string missing, so it's pretty much useless at the moment.
Yeah. Poor thing.
And it's kind of snapped at the back. So
I want to make a guitar song like that, like a song that's supposed to have like the one string, but it doesn't get played at all because it's missing.
Yeah,
it's part of the song, and it's like a sad song, and like that one string makes all the difference of the music. I want to do that now. If I remember to do that, I probably won't. I'm too lazy, but I did it in thought. That's all. It's the thought that counts, really.
Hey, Wild Heart, a question for you.
Just while that, just at different times. I stay up all night to speak to you good folk in America. So I sleep during my daytime, which is in about 5 hours. So I'm good for now. Well, thank you very much, and good to see you, Santi Sam. I remember you from the old days, the very old days now, actually. Probably about 10 years ago, yeah.
Jesus, that's a long time.
Yeah.
I was not around here 10 years ago.
No.
Not anywhere close.
Neither was I.
You didn't miss much, to be fair. You probably caught up by
22. That would have been weird. 22-year-old online talking.
It's been like 2.5 years that I've been here. 2 2.5
Yeah,
years.
around there.
But
2.5 years.
yeah,
You.
10 years ago, I was online. I just wasn't around here. No,
Yeah.
we
No,
were, we had our own site. Me and a bunch of people had our own site, and we had like huge Skype calls with like 20 to 30. Sometimes I think we maxed out at like 52 people one time, like huge Skype calls. And then we had this room where we would all meet up, and then we would go have like game tournaments. We would trade rares. We had a DJ going 24/7, and the chat was going 24/7, and we were just like fucking crazy. And we had a lot of fun, and we chased a few people out, and so that's where I was. That was right before I got into jumping in like anonymously, hiding in different cults and gathering information because they fascinate me.
This must
And
be
then-
pretty chill then compared to that.
Yeah,
Like,
and then
5 people on the channel is nothing. Like, yeah.
well, before here, I was starting to get into QAnon, and I will not say my name over there at all.
Yeah.
But before that, I was into Love Is One, which is kind of fractured into 2 separate groups now, but that's beside the point. Yeah, I don't know. I just get bored.
I'm loving the background, by the way. Very nice. That looks cool.
What mine? Oh, it's
Yeah.
not
Oh,
Yeah.
my photo. Of
Yeah.
the stars.
That is
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah. And welcome for Frustrated Atheist. Good to see you. Another old,
Howdy.
yeah, friend to the community, if I can put it like that, I think.
Yeah, I've been around since the Google Hangout days, and just been off and on the YouTube and everything sphere for since then. But yeah, I've been around. I've been lurking a lot, and I've taken a break from everything this past week because of my mother's passing. But you know,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it definitely was. It was hard for the longest
Yeah.
time, and I just kind of I took a break from everything and just gave myself time to grieve and process and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Hurdle in life that's gonna be a hard one. I thought about like, what if my mom dies? I don't know, because that's your mom. I mean, like,
I'd be a wreck. Yeah.
crazy.
I don't look forward to it. But that feeling that you described, that's your mom, that's how I felt about my dad.
I think it's very much different with men and women. I think
No,
daughters are closer to the fathers and sons are closer to the
I think
mothers.
it's person to person, because both of my sisters are closer to my mom.
Yeah.
I think me and my brother were closer to my dad, actually. Especially me. I was super close to my dad. My dad was my best friend. I went and hung out with him every single day for like years. Even as an adult, my lunch break, I spent my lunch break with my dad every single day. Like that, he was my best friend. And so when I lost him, I guess it's been about 5 years. Yeah. Like that's how I felt then.
Yeah, I helped take care of my mom, so I saw her just about every single day. I did talk to her every single day, but I saw her just about every single day. And yeah, like I still get to the point where like, because every day she would call me while I'm at work, which I'm currently at work now, but every day she'd call me and ask me, what we were going to do for dinner and yada, yada, yada. Well, I still been expecting that call every day. And today was even worse because I did get a call. And part of me was like, it's mom calling to ask what's for dinner. But in reality, it was my sister just letting me know, since we're having some unusually cold weather for Texas.
Oh, tell me about it. And I'm up in the north part
Oh.
of Texas, so it's real cold here.
I live down in the Galveston County area.
Oh yeah,
So-
see, I live up in the Panhandle, up close to New Mexico.
Oh yeah. So well,
Yeah.
don't y'all normally get cold?
Yeah, but not like this. I mean, we get
Oh.
cold. Like, we get, how do I explain it? Like, it gets super cold, but most of the time it's because of the wind chill. Like, we have
Yeah.
super, super high winds. And so it'll be like 30 degrees outside, but then they're like, with wind chill, it feels like negative 19. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
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 And so,
Also-
but now we've got the double. We've got the low and the wind chill, and it's something else
Even
out
worse.
there right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. See, and the thing is y'all's weather is a lot different because, like, up there, y'all get little humidity, whereas down here, it's usually always high humidity.
Right. Exactly.
So that's another factor that's really, really bad. But my
Yeah.
sister was calling me because, oh, sorry. Go ahead, finish what you were going to say, and then I'll.
No, I was
finish
gonna
what
say
saying.
somebody said one time, somebody from Florida said one time, I live in a sauna, you live in an oven. And I was like, only if that oven now has a hair dryer.
Right.
Anyway.
So
Okay, that's
because
fine.
the car I'm driving right now, there's no heat, so there's no defroster, and so my sister called me to let me know, hey, if you need us to come get you when you get off of work, call us. And I was like, okay, I'll figure that out. But when she called, I was that was me expecting, like, I thought that was my mom for a split second.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the name and I was like, oh, it's not mom. And then I had to remind myself that you're not going to get that call.
I did that with my dad for, I mean, months and months. It was like an everyday thing for months. And then, like, even for a couple of years after, like, once every other month or once every 5 or 6 weeks, I would go to call my dad and to tell him something, and I would be like, oh, and then, like, even
Yeah.
I guess it was like about 6-7 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
I got a new, well, and I guess it was longer than that now, probably about a year ago now. Anyway, I got a new phone, and I wasn't thinking about it, but one of my apps didn't transfer. And it had my dad's the last voicemail from my dad in it.
Yeah.
And I knew I had emailed it to myself, but I couldn't find it anywhere in my emails, and I about lost it. Luckily, I had emailed it to somebody else as well, and they emailed it back to me. But like, oh, and still, it's been like 5 years, and there's still random moments where it just hits me like super hard.
And I fully well expect that. Like, whenever I talked to my oldest sister about it, about how I'm feeling now, because she called me, or I called her to check up on her, and she asked me, and I've told her that I've gotten to the point where I've accepted the fact that my mom is gone, but I have not gotten so far as, like, I keep telling them, people, it might be petty, but, like, I took my mom's, because me and my mom were on the same phone plan, and I bumped hers down to the $15, the cheapest 1 week I could do, because I'm not ready to cancel her phone line and have somebody else using her phone number.
Oh,
So
believe me, if I had it my way, his phone would still be on and I'd still be leaving him messages. So I get it.
yeah. So oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, as well, within a week, that's kind of good going. I can understand that. Like, a week is nothing.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot longer for, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm honestly not sure
I-
how I feel. Well, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and I may get to the point where I finally can like let go of that number, but I just know that right now I'm nowhere near that. I don't care what you call me. If people think it's petty, then I'm
No.
Mr. Petty.
No, that's
I don't
that's
think
not,
anyone's gonna call
not
you
that.
petty. If
No.
they have, they're idiots.
Yeah. My dad
I
died.
mean, it's your own money. So how is it petty for you to do what's with yours anyway? That's
Yeah.
the fucked up part. It's
Exactly.
yours to do what you want. Fuck whoever thinks it's petty. Smack them side of the head.
Well, I do have a question. Is it bad that I honestly don't know how I would feel if either of my parents died. Like I'm thinking about like
So,
how would I feel?
I heard you say that earlier, and in all honesty, I know a lot of people who are kind of in that same boat where they just don't know. And I can't say that I think that you'd go one way or the other because it always differs between people. Like, for instance, right now, my girlfriend, she because of her situation, to her mother is already dead, and so she's already cried over her mother's death, even though her mother is still alive. And so I still think that, like for her, I still think she might, but she may not. She may not cry when her mother actually does pass because she's already seen it as her mother's gone, anyways. But with you, yours is a little bit different, where they're both still alive. They're like, there's, as far as I know, there's nothing wrong with them, and you just aren't sure because you don't have that closeness. But there are some people who they cry even though they're not close.
There are many things wrong with them, but
I've seen it go both ways.
Yeah.
I've seen somebody with a really, really complicated relationship with their parents who, in my opinion, like I say this full well knowing that like what we can get used to and consider normal is pretty fucking incredible as human beings. But from an outsider's perspective, I think that this person had every reason to despise their parents, to absolutely despise them. And a piece of her still broke when she lost them. It was complicated. It was complicated. There were a lot of mixed emotions going on, but there was definitely loss and pain there. But then, I've seen people who went the Jeanette McCurdy route. If you don't know who she is, she wrote a book called "I'm Glad My Mother's Dead," or "Why I'm Glad My Mother Died," or something like that.
Yeah, it's the first one. It's I'm Glad My Mother's Dead, and the only reason why I know this is because my girlfriend is obsessed with that book, and she has talked about it. And just from what my girlfriend has said, I don't blame her for being okay with her mother being dead.
Right. I don't either. I don't either. Anybody who puts that amount of responsibility and parentification and just downright abuse on a child is not very parental, in my opinion.
Yeah. For those of y'all who don't know, basically, Jeanette McCarty is the girl who played Sam in iCarly, and when she became an actress.
Dude, I love her.
Became an actress. Yeah, well, when she became an actress, her mother kind of pushed her into it, and then on top of that, her mother was basically like telling her, like pushing all these men on her, and was like, "You need to be with this man. You need to do whatever he wants you to do. You need to do blah 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 blah." And like it was all to keep that flow of. It was all to keep that flow of money coming in.
And it wasn't just that. It wasn't just that. Jeanette McCurdy was always cast as like the ugly character, which like even
she's
in her
not
script,
ugly.
She's not. But even in her script, it wouldn't say like her character's name. It would say like the ugly friend says this, the ugly friend does that. And It's like
I
every time she auditioned, that was the role she got, was the ugly friend, and it was really starting to mess with her.
But why?
Her
Why did they get-
mother, who should have been her support, right?
Mhm.
Basically ends up pressuring her into an eating disorder and fueling her negative self-images. And I don't know, it was a lot. Her mom did a lot.
Yeah, pretty much, Halsey. I was gonna say her mom pimped her out. Like that's ghetto 101 that mothers will
Oh,
do that to their
yes.
daughters.
Yeah.
Like that's big, man. Like
Yeah, and then
And
it's
to
no
play
wonder.
off of her like psychological weaknesses
Insecurities.
as a vulnerable teenager, no less.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
I don't know.
You know, I find
Like-
it interesting that Jeanette McCurdy appeared in an episode of Law and Order SVU when she was like, I think 6. I was like, oh wow, okay, she actually appeared in an episode of Law and Order SVU.
Yeah.
That's neat. And then then the way she acted in the in the iCarly, it was
Mhm.
I loved her in
Never seen that.
iCarly. Just a badass.
And like I said, And like I said, like she over here, she's being cast as the ugly friend, the ugly party member, the ugly. When this girl was not ugly by any means.
She's
Like, looking
absolutely
at her-
adorable.
Oh,
By the
yes.
way, I wanted to bring up those videos she made like years ago about Dan Schneider. This is what you did to me. Do you guys remember those? Really, I didn't see all of them or like them in full. But what I saw, she was kind of having a nervous. She was kind of having a nervous breakdown and blaming it on Dan Schneider. Which, looking at the man, how
Dan
can you
Schneider
not
was a
blame
piece of
him?
shit.
Yes.
Oh no. From all the people from all the kids who have ever worked under Dan Schneider, like they've all said he's a piece of shit, and
He's a
they've
creep.
gone into detail. Yeah, they've gone into detail about the things he's done, and it's like,
Yeah.
holy fuck.
And the people he's had around them.
Mm-hmm. It's like, it's basically like, to put it mildly, it's basically like if you're friends with like you go to somebody and they keep you constantly around Jeffrey Epstein and they want you to go to his island all the time. It's like that level of creepiness.
I'm very pissed off at Nick because all they did is give him $7 million and be like, yeah, fuck you, get the fuck out of here. Here's the severance package. Just go be creepy somewhere else. Like he saw nothing. He saw nothing when it came to getting arrested or just.
Well, he's
What?
not
Oh,
the
yeah, man.
first. He's not the first or the last.
Well, no, true.
Nope.
But it's just like, what the fuck?
Can I say I had a stream on my channel the other day just as a joke? It was entitled "Was Irene Nick at Epstein Island?" I'm not saying he was. I'm not saying he wasn't.
Was
Do what?
what?
I'm just asking the question.
Oh, you're asking the question if Dan was on Epstein's Island?
I ran it.
Yeah.
Oh, was I Rennick?
I mean,
Wow. that's-
one of
the rest of the
so
questions are
With the list coming
talking
out,
about the Epstein Island,
was it on
talking about the list,
Yeah.
talking about the list, I've got to make some clarifying points because like a lot of people think this list is of the people who've been on the jet, and that jet has gone everywhere, and it's taken people everywhere. Like for instance, Chris Tucker, along with Kevin Spacey and Bill Clinton, were on the list together 11 times, and that's because of the trip to Africa for a humanitarian relief effort thing.
Yeah.
And so, like
Stephen Hawking
this
was on
list
there,
that's
too.
coming out. Who?
Stephen Hawking was under too, and a lot of people were
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Stephen Hawking likes to do this and that." I'm like,
No,
as far
the
as I'm
list.
talking, go ahead.
The list that's coming out tells you who boarded his jet, not who went to his island.
But apparently,
Yeah,
there
and
are
that's the
sex
biggest
tapes-
thing.
Apparently, there are sex tapes as well. I don't know whether they've come out or they're ready to. Yeah, because in one of them it said that Prince Andrew, who was on the list,
Yeah.
They said there's a sex tape
Yeah.
of him. He was too fat to get in the bath. So
Yeah, I don't
apparently
know.
as well. I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know about the Prince Andrew one, but what I do think what's very, very telling is that if he didn't do anything wrong, why is he paying off the lady who said, "Oh yeah, he had his way with me on Epstein's Island"? Like, if you didn't do that wrong, why are you paying this person off and not just trying to
More than
like
that.
combat the allegation?
Well, I think it's more than that though, right? Because I think he had somebody that came and named him personally, right?
Yeah.
B, there are photos of him with these underage girls.
Mhm.
C, it's not like the whole royal family was like, no, Epstein took him to Africa for some humanitarian trip, right? Like, no, even
Yeah.
the royal family was like, buddy.
Buddy, maybe you should pay her off. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like when it comes to him, I like, but like then people are like, oh yeah, Donald Trump's on that list too, and I'm like, yeah, but when you actually look at the logs when it comes to Donald Trump, it was from Florida to New York, so literally from Mar-a-Lago to Trump Tower.
But here's my thing about. Oh, never mind. I lost it. Rabbit trails in my head.
Oh yes, rabbit trails are always the death of conversations.
Oh, my mind
But,
does it
yeah, no.
constantly.
But apparently
Yes.
with Prince Andrew as well, the Queen, obviously before she died, obviously paid a lot of money, like millions of dollars, to keep him out of prison. I'm not sure what it was about, but on a different matter.
That's what I was gonna say. So, like, I don't know that he can pay her off because the Queen could use the money to get him out, right? And but like because he's been like at least halfway disowned by the royal family, he can't access those assets, right? Aren't they like? I mean, he's pretty much poor right now, right? Technically, without the family supporting him.
Has the family stopped supporting him though? That's the thing. Like maybe, maybe if they did stop supporting him, it could be publicly, but because he is still part of the royal family, they're still going to give him money.
Well, that's what I'm
Unless
saying.
you
Like,
do something like
he's gonna live in his mansion. He's never gonna want for food. He's always gonna have servants,
Yeah.
sure. But like, if he pays her off, right? Like that's a very like that's not gonna be a hush hush thing. So is that something the royal family is gonna give up assets for?
But on the other side of that, if they disown him, that's kind of admitting that he's done something wrong. So they're kind of in a no-win situation there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they can't disown him, but they can't pay her off either.
Yeah, they kind of can't win. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I think he already did pay her off. That's the thing, is I'm pretty sure he's paid her off already. So, I mean, we may just be discussing a moot point if he's already done it. I just don't remember. I'm not near my phone.
So, what I find strange is there's that list of people, but some of the people that are on it have been redacted. So we don't even how rich and powerful are the people that have been redacted. Like Donald Trump is on there, Bill Clinton's on there, and yet there are people have been redacted and we don't even know.
Redacted.
Yeah, how rich and powerful are they to get the names redacted off a list like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is like my question is, like, if people like Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, like all these people who have, a decent amount of money are still on that list and that's open to the public.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, these people who are redacted, it's like, what do they know?
What did they do? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And what did they do?
They may not be rich and powerful. They may be the lackey for somebody who is. They may be co-conspirators.
Yeah.
They may be human traffickers. But what do they know?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do they know?
That's
the big question I want.
Yeah. They might be working with the authorities to prosecute other people. That might be a reason for it.
Then again, if that's the case, if they're like inside job people, their names are redacted for their protection. That just puts the target on the back for the inside people who know. Like that's a big red target because your names are redacted. Hey, why
And they
isn't your
remember.
name on this list, right? You
Yeah, that's a risk.
And
you're gonna get a knife
And
in
one
your
of the
back.
things we also have to take into account is like some of them may have been victims that they wanted to keep like the public from knowing who the victims are. So that's another thing we have to take into consideration.
That's true. They could have been minors.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love the conspiracy theories. I love conspiracy theories. Like, not like as in I believe a lot of them. Like, there's not a big time conspiracy theory that I'd be like, oh yes, I 100% wholeheartedly believe this conspiracy. There are, like, most of them are just bullshit that I just find funny.
They're fun.
But it's fascinating.
They're fun, and they're especially fun when they make sense. But when you start getting into basements of buildings that don't actually have basements, it starts being like, what the fuck?
Right? Like, for instance, I don't believe a single one of the JFK conspiracies. I don't take any stock in them. However,
really,
I find it fascinating. Yes, I find it fascinating what the human imagination can come up with.
I do think it's possible. I'm not saying it's probable at all, but I do think it's possible that Lee Harvey Oswald was innocent. Not just because of the disconnected call or the
Jack Ruby.
the fact that they didn't even connect the second call, right? Not just because of the person he was contacting working for the CIA, but also because somebody else who was working with the CIA remembers meeting Lee Harvey Oswald. And when he remembers meeting him, he was with the man that he was trying to call that worked for the CIA. On top of that, he told his mistress, Lee Harvey Oswald had apparently told his mistress that he was there to prevent an assassination. And so there.
But the thing is, hold on, with that one though, we gotta think. If you're gonna be going somewhere to commit an assassination, and someone has heard of, hey, they're doing something strange over here, your very first thing is like, no, I'm going to prevent an assassination.
No, but first, that's what I'm saying though. His mistress wasn't anywhere near there. His mistress was in a different state. He had called her and he said he thought that that's what he was there for. Oddly enough, he's not the only one who was in town under that impression. Also, strangely enough, is why do you let the car pass by you, miss your perfect shot, wait for it to turn a corner, and then shoot if that's what you're there for, right? On top of all the other weirdness and the whole CIA connections going on, plus his mother till the day she died swore he worked for the CIA and he worked for the government. And there's other things like corroborate this. It's really weird.
Can I just ask the question, was Irene the man behind the grassy knoll? I'm not saying he was. I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm just asking the question.
No, I'm not sure.
Let's just
theory that the cop is the shooter, but there's also that one.
And let's also dispel this whole entire nonsense of the grassy knoll thing, because like from where the grassy knoll was, there's no way with what we know of the actual shot that the grassy knoll was the place that it would have happened from.
Also,
Nobody bringing up Jack Ruby.
Also, the fingerprints are kind of weird. I'm just saying the whole thing with the fingerprints was a mess.
To address Athena's point about the Jack Ruby thing, I think it is very, very strange. I think it's very, very odd that Jack Ruby would kill Oswald because he was that much in love, he loved JFK that much. And then I think it's also odd and strange that he was then also assassinated. However, because we have no other available information on any of that part, it's one of those things where we're just going to have to let weird coincidences be weird coincidences.
I don't know. I think it would be a weird coincidence if it wasn't. I think like I'm not sold on any of the theories, but the reason I think it's more than just some weird coincidence is because, I mean, look at everything that's been uncovered at that time. Look at everything the CIA had its hands into. Just even citizens, even citizens or musicians, or I mean the links they went to tail them and to disrupt their lives and to create chaos and to basically lead to their deaths is pretty remarkable.
When I said weird coincidence, I meant the Jack Ruby aspect.
Okay.
Like the whole entire Jack Ruby killing the assassinator and then later becoming assassinated. I think that because we have not so much evidence on any of that aspect, that has to be a weird coincidence that we just let be a weird coincidence.
Maybe, but if the CIA's fingerprints are all over everything preceding it, I don't know why it would just stop there.
Well, because I don't see why the CIA would even go to, like, of all people, Jack Ruby. Like,
of all people, Marilyn.
Let's face it.
Of all people, they were said to have messed with what was that singer's name? Goodness, she ended up dying.
You talking about the Black Dahlia?
Marilyn Monroe?
No, she was a singer.
Yeah, Marilyn Monroe?
She wasn't murdered. It was no. She was black. Anyway.
Are you talking about Billie Holiday?
I think so. Yeah.
The one who did Strange Fruit.
Yeah, they went out of their
Billie
way.
Holiday.
They went out of their way to fuck her over for a song. You think?
Oh no! Let's not get this twisted. When it comes to Billie Holiday, it's a whole different ballgame because you're talking about a time frame where lynchings were on the high, racism, all in the South was so high that Billie Holiday's song was an anti-lynching song. And because it was disturbing things like that, that's why they went through all that trouble to basically more or less cancel her.
That's exactly what I'm saying, though, right? Okay, first of all, racism didn't stop. It just got relabeled McCarthyism, and shit went sideways from there. Okay, that stuff got redirected.
Yeah, no,
it never stopped. And what they did,
I didn't say it did.
Go eat dinner,
right.
guys.
What I'm saying is, what they did to her is later days talk. What they did to her was not an isolated event. They did this to a lot of people, both inside and outside of the CIA, right? Like they did this to their own people, especially when you start getting into the MK Ultra stuff. So, like, while I'm not sold that any of that is true, it's so far from being outside of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, but like I said, because we can entertain. Oh, nothing. It's these things at work that I'm having to move around. But because they're on a roller grill, it's hard to get them out. But anyways, what I was saying was that it's fine if you want to entertain, like the ideas and stuff like that. But like when it comes to Jack Ruby and teaming up with the CIA, like let's face it, during this time frame, there was mobsters all over the place. We had a mob here in Texas that they could have gotten any one of those guys to do it. Why would they sit there and go to Jack Ruby, who was mob adjacent who had his businesses in Louisiana, just to do it, whenever there was much easier and better access in Dallas alone?
Well, no, I get that. I get that
Mhm.
point. I don't think they had to go to Jack Ruby. I mean, I'm related to somebody, although I'm pretty sure this part of my family lead poisoned themselves or something on accident. I'll explain why in a minute. I am related to the person who killed President Garfield.
Okay.
And someone, I think it was like his aunt or his cousin or something, is the one that I'm related to. And she changed her last name. So that was a fun part of our family history.
Mhm.
But reading their diaries and their journal entries and the stories we could find about them got really fascinating, because this family that was known as a very upstanding Christian family, very friendly, always willing to help the neighbors, very well respected, decides to move. They move, same story. However, after moving, all their luck started changing.
Mhm.
One lady lost her baby. Shortly after losing her baby, she went mad and spent the rest of her life institutionalized. Another family member went crazy. Suddenly, Charles J. Gutierrez writing crazy nonsense about how he helped get President Garfield elected and he was owed some spot in the embassy or some such nonsense. And if Garfield like betrayed him or something, and the vice president would take care of it if Garfield was out of the way. I mean, just all kinds of nonsense. Just like bam, just started, just all kinds of different family members. Then he ends up shooting the president, right? So I don't know. Weird shit happens.
Yes, weird shit
Yeah,
does happen.
I-
Hello, Brojo and Lord Redfang. How are we doing?
What's up?
What up?
Well, considering my team lost, I'm doing all right.
Damn it. Go sports ball.
So the Eagles lost?
Well, they're in the middle of losing.
Oh, well.
What am I, cod liver?
My team usually loses, but that's because I'm usually rooting for the underdog. But I like soccer most, so.
Get in.
Soccer, that sissy sport.
Sissy my ass. I love the World Cup. The
It's
World
so
Cup is such fun.
sissy. The way they flop around. Come on,
Whatever.
KT.
You know
and
who Super Munchkin's?
football's better.
You know who Super
Yes,
Munchkin's
football's way
favorite player
better.
was? You know who Super Munchkin's favorite player was in the last World Cup?
Well, I was going to say Beckham, but he's not. He's not playing.
It wasn't even U.S. And it wasn't Messi. I will say that. It wasn't Messi. Messi's fantastic. Everybody knows. It wasn't Messi. Who do you think her favorite player was, Wild?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to soccer. I like real sports.
I've not watched it for a couple of years, so I'm a bit behind on the soccer players. If it wasn't Messi, yeah, I'm still.
Her favorite was, how do you say his name? His name is like Mbappe. She really liked, she really liked Mbappe.
Chelsea player, I think he is. Yeah.
Yes, she really likes him.
Yeah.
She thinks he's fantastic.
What country does he play for? I know he plays. I think he plays for Chelsea. Or he did do.
I want to say France, but I'm not sure. Let me look that up because I could totally be lying.
No, I think it is France. The French, they all got the best players, damn it.
Yeah, no, France. I was spot on. Look at that.
And welcome Dyson Thomas as well. I know Midnight rudely left you out, but he was welcome to
Bless you, Wildheart.
Peace, man. But to get back to the sports, yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. Well, I did have a question for Frustrated. All right, if you don't believe any of the JFK, theories or whatever, what do you believe in? The official report?
So I think that with everything that right now, the way it sits, I think that until we get like any corroborating evidence otherwise, that the official report is, while there's a lot of holes in it, I think it's the most accurate. I also think that if there's any conspiracy theory, sorry, that's my other phone. If there's any conspiracy theory that has somewhat what's the word? Somewhat credence, it'd be the one about what was it? There's one theory I heard about how there was a Secret Service member who was like 2 cars behind the president that had a rifle that while Oswald was shooting and he went to turn around to return fire, that the car lurched and
Yeah,
caused
and
him
he
to
hit
shoot
the
forward.
president. He hit the president, right?
Yeah.
I've seen the documentary of that. John F. K. The Smoking Gun, which it was a very,
Yeah,
very good documentary.
Yeah, I think that if the official report is not accurate, that in one of the conspiracy theories is, I think it'd be that.
My problem with the official report is how much it completely ignored. Like, to the point that it seems absolutely intentional. From the phone calls to the person that Lee Harvey Oswald called from jail to the CIA, or tried to call. They didn't even, according to the notes from the person who was there, they told him that they didn't answer, but they never even put the call out. And that was to a member of the CIA, right? Like, none of these things, including the notes about the call, none of these are even in the report, right? So the fact that there's so many omissions that it just looks intentional makes me think, like, how accurate is it? They didn't even care if it was complete.
Are you talking about the report that they did over like several, like the proceedings and record took several days to go over?
And I'm talking about the official story that came out.
Hmm. I didn't know if you were talking about the Warren report. I just now remember the name out of nowhere.
Even that report has some holes in it, not to the extent that the official story does. But even that's got some, I mean, there's some big names that were just not even mentioned. And you're like, why? And why? Except for what reason? Except to hide that the CIA fingerprints were everywhere.
Well, I mean, you got to think CIA, like, this is a thing where like multiple agencies at that time were
running around fucking with citizens and getting people killed.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah,
That too.
yeah,
But
exactly.
like, look, don't get me wrong. Like, let me make it clear. I've never once been under the assumption that the United States government hasn't hidden shit. Trust me, I've never been that type of person. Even whenever I was like in the military, I've never been that type of person where I thought the U.S. government is squeaky clean in anything. I mean, we can just look how Edward Snowden was treated for telling the United States people, hey, your government is spying on you. And the fact that he is now seen as not only a war criminal, but by the general public. He's seen as a traitor, and people still get him confused with the WikiLeaks person.
Right, and now, but saying that, now we have access to more things, right? He had access to more things. You take it back then, when disseminating information was not as easy as it is now, right? And who, like, I don't know. It's a lot easier to plug that leak, and it's a lot easier to scare people into not talking. And even then, there are people who have reported being that leak, right? So.
Yeah, well, I mean,
what's the difference between Snowden and somebody we call crazy?
Well, there's a heap of difference. Like I said, for instance, like most of the people who have come out, like for instance, let's just go off of like the aliens, for instance. I can't tell you how many people have quote unquote
I meant
said,
people in the JFK. I meant people in the JFK case that have come forward as leaks about things that the report. Yeah. Okay. So, for example, the lady from the phone call I mentioned, the police never talked to her. What happened was she worked at the dispatch, and her and her supervisor had picked up the call at the same time. She had said hello first, but her supervisor had taken over, and she let her supervisor because it was Lee Harvey Oswald. But she did not hang up. So she had a conversation with one of her relatives that said, hey, take notes and we'll keep it as a memorabilia because you're never going to have a client like this again, all that. So she jots down notes, and it's all like operator shorthand, like CA, HG, things like that. And basically her notes say that they put the first call through and there was no answer. And the second call, which is the number that he was intending to call, which was supposed to go to a person who is in the CIA, they didn't place the call and told him that there was no answer, that the line had disconnected. And that's what her notes report. Interestingly enough, that CIA person, right, that he was trying to call, another person who was not in the CIA, but had contacts in the CIA and was being like used by the CIA kind of, remembers meeting Lee Harvey Oswald while he was with the man in the CIA that Lee Harvey Oswald was trying to call from the jail. And that's just one little trail that nobody even bothered to follow up on, right? That's one out of how many? I mean, when I say that the CIA fingerprints are everywhere, I mean everywhere. How come they couldn't find fingerprints on any of the guns until after they magically found not even a fingerprint. They found a partial palm print on the gun after they visited the coroner's office. They didn't have any before.
So one of the questions I've got to ask is, what is it that we know? Like, obviously we know, like the general, like, gist of what the CIA does. Like, they're the Central Intelligence Agency, and they're all about like gathering intelligence, yada yada yada. We know that part.
Which branch?
But what is it?
Which branch? You think there's just one branch? I mean, even the FBI has how many branches?
Those branches are usually just in the States, though. The FBI.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The FBI has how many branches, and they just operate in states. The CIA, what part of the CIA? I'm sure there's like several parts of the CIA, and I'm sure they probably don't always communicate with each other.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, like, what I'm trying to gloss over, like, the very gist of what we know is, like, yeah, there's a lot of different departments within the CIA that a lot of them don't talk with amongst each other because they don't have anything to do with, their specific job or whatever, I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is, what is it that we do know that the CIA does? I mean, you see it in every movie, every whatever. Like, the biggest thing that CIA does is they don't ever use their names, like their real names at least. They have code names, or like they have makeup names. Like for instance, take I know it's clearly not based on true story, but type of shit. But take the A-Team for instance. CIA. Oh yeah, my name is I'm Agent Lynch. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the movie, there's another Agent Lynch that comes by to take over.
Right.
To take the first agent away.
Right. And
So,
interestingly enough, the name he had was his code name, not just his real name. On top of that, his mother had known that he was working for the government. And he
Oswald's
said,
right?
Yes, he said he couldn't talk much about it, but that he was being used. He was being prepared to be used against Russia, I believe it was, and he was going back and forth between assimilating. Like, at one point, he was straight up just like passing out pro-communist literature and stuff, which people found a little weird. But it was, if you asked another person, he said it was because him and Oswald and another guy were put into this group because they had like a lot of like immigrants and foreigners and all kinds of people like working there, and they were supposed to root out the communist people or whatever, which is why he was passing out this propaganda pretending to be pro-communist, whatever. I don't know what this has to do with preparation for being used against Russia. I'm not sure, but there's so many people with matching stories, and it's weird.
But you kind of glossed over the point I was trying to get at. So we know the CIA don't use their real names. We know that the CIA, we know that. So we have an operator who, for those of, just in case there is, because there's always that one person who's like, what do you mean by operator? Back in the day, you couldn't just call a number. You had to go through an operator to get a hold of someone. It was just a normal thing where you picked up the phone and the operator answers and you tell them an extension and all this other goofy stuff. So we have an operator who says that Oswald was trying to get a hold of a person, and she stayed on the line, all that stuff. We don't know.
Wait. We have proof that, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, from what I understand, there's part of this that is hearsay, and there's part of this that is not. Who he was trying to call is not hearsay, right? The part that's hearsay in this is that she reports that her supervisor was told not to connect the call, not to put the call through, and to go back and tell him that he didn't answer, that it was disconnected. That was the part.
Right, but the thing is what you had said earlier was that agent is the same exact agent somebody else had said Oswald had met with. So all we have to go off of when it comes to the supervisor and the operator is a name. So just because the names match doesn't mean anything.
No, it's not the name. Okay, I was for the sake of brevity, I was assuming you knew a bunch of stuff. So the fact that their stories line up are interesting, but these people don't know each other. And they weren't even spoken to at the same time. They went from
Wait, hold on. Which two people are we talking about?
The person that says he met him. The person that says he met him talking to the guy, and the lady. Okay, so the lady's never seen the guy. Right. She's just got the name and the phone numbers.
Right.
So they track these people down. One of these people, the second person on the list, the person that the lady said the call didn't go through to, happens to be somebody who went by that code name under the CIA. Right. Well, they start talking around with some of his contacts and some of his old coworkers, and then they run into a guy who had connections to the CIA, right? He didn't work for the CIA, but he was kind of being used by the CIA in a similar way that Oswald had reported to his mother, and his mother was under the impression of, right? In a very similar manner, he was being dealt with this way. Right. He said, yes, that is him, and that is Oswald's contact, because when I met them, they were together, and this is my contact, and blah, 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 right? So he had seen him in person together. Right.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the same agent from the operator. Because let's face it,
but it's his number. It's his phone number, and he said,
that's the thing is that's another issue, is that we know that the CIA does things in a way to make sure that shit, as much as possible, doesn't come back on them. So you would have to have the world's dumbest CIA agent to use his own home phone number to contact, or as a contact point for his agents, or his I don't know how you want to say it, his puppets, his whatever.
Well, I don't.
You'd be the worst.
It wasn't like that. I don't think it was like that. They had some trouble finding it because going back in the phone books, this number was unlisted, 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 unlisted. I can't remember how they said they found it, but when they found it and tracked it down, that's who it belonged to. It wasn't like they just pulled up the phone book and
Well,
there it was.
that's another thing. Is like, I would have to see, I'd have to read or look up how exactly they have found out that this number was belonging to a agent or whatever. Because, like I said, like you would be the world's dumbest agent to use your
They
own
didn't,
personal home phone number.
right? They
Type of
didn't know. I don't think they knew it was an agent when they located him.
Well, of course, they weren't going to know that. But what I'm saying is that if you are a CIA agent and you are using your own personal number, and we got to realize that back in the day, like, yeah, there's going to be very few numbers, but like most of the times, like these people are going to use payphones. They're going to use, other means of contacting their agents, and they're not going to use their own personal home phone numbers, even if they're unlisted.
Right.
Because
I don't know.
that's just the dumbest thing to do.
Well, I think
So, go ahead.
I think it is in hindsight, right? But a lot of the stupid mess ups people make with technology now, I can only imagine the mess ups they made back then, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's possible. Like it's possible that that you just had somebody who messed up, agent who messed up and was like, yeah, go ahead and call this number here, or have the operator transfer you. But but my biggest thing is like, if you are dealing with an agency that even back then they knew don't have a paper trail, and all of a sudden you have a paper trail, then
yeah.
that leads directly to you. You'd be the world's
Well,
dumbest agent, and like you would be fired almost immediately.
right, but the only reason there was a paper trail was because she took notes and wrote the number down when she wasn't supposed to be on the call anymore.
Right, but the thing is like so whenever they had to go and do all the questioning of people and all that stuff, and they tracked down that this was an agent's number, like that's still like the fact that you're an agent and you let that even occur shows is like it's I don't know. Like I said, it's stupid.
But even that's
it's
not
possible.
what makes it. Okay, yeah, thank you. And I was going to say, it's not that I believe it, it's that I think it's possible. But what makes me think it's possible is not just because of these things, it's because none of these things were addressed. And anything official, and I find that really weird. Because if you look at other official documents, they rule everything out and they say this is irrelevant, and this is irrelevant, and here's the consensus. And like there's none of that. And I think that's strange.
But I think you gotta realize that back then it definitely probably seemed really irrelevant, and they're like it's so irrelevant that like for instance with us in today in flat earthers, for instance, there's a lot of points that flat earthers try to bring up that are just so irrelevant that you're just like I've seen a lot of people who their entire YouTube career is basically debunking flat earth. And whenever a flat earther says, well, what about this? They just dismiss it outright because they're like, oh, yeah, it's been debunked. And it's like,
was that
you need to go through that with this person.
Was that, what was, God damn it. Was that not a Red's rhetoric?
It's not necessarily a nod to Red's rhetoric. I haven't seen Red's rhetoric in a while. But
he's
it
still
is
doing
like
flat earth. He's still doing flat earth debunking. That's why I said, was that a jab at him or not?
I thought you were calling him a flat earther. I was like, I should have worn my NASA shirt.
No, he's not.
Even anti-flat earther, but don't get me started on flat earthers. I've had enough.
Yeah, but no, that wasn't necessarily a nod at him, but it's most flat earth debunkers. Like they do the same thing as far as like whenever something they hear that's so stupid that it's been addressed several times that they get to the point, and this goes together with like a lot of philosophy and theology debates and stuff like that on YouTube, is like whenever something's been thoroughly gone over, they just get to a point where they're like, it's irrelevant, whatever. And the flat earthers like, well, you didn't tell me why it's irrelevant, and you just said it's irrelevant. So that could be another reason why back then, whenever this was going on, this investigation, and nobody brought that up. That could be one of the things. Like, oh, it's irrelevant, and
But
they may have explained it back then.
But it's so far. That's what I'm saying. Is like it's not the norm, right? It's not. Especially, I mean, you look at all to this day they have detailed UFO reports. All kinds are redacted, right? Like they have all kinds of everything. And you're telling me that they just all of a sudden decided, oop, this case, all of that's irrelevant.
So with the UFO things, a lot of it's redacted because some of it's because of the fact that, like, for instance, like the Area 51 stuff. Like, since we're going to go into UFOs, we've got to bring up the motherlode of all conspiracy theories when it comes to UFOs, which is Area 51. Area 51, we all know, is a site that they develop and create experimental aircraft.
The Aurora.
Like, we know this. This is a big thing. Yeah.
Everyone agrees that Area 51 is a top secret military air base. Everyone kind of knows that. That's
right. That's where the Aurora was created. That's where the Aurora was created.
Yeah. So they're not going to.
That's where like.
Stealth technology.
They are going to redact anything to do with it, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Right. But no, that wasn't the point. I'm saying, like, even knowing the irrelevancy of the things they're recording, they recorded in great detail. That was my point.
Well, I mean, the thing is like it's recorded at least in great detail enough that we know that this took place. But at the time, they're just like, we're going to dismiss it because it has no relevancy to the case.
But that's what I'm saying. That's
if
what I'm
it wasn't.
saying. What I'm saying is, if you work for the military, in that area, you know exactly what's happening at Area 51. You know exactly what's happening.
Right.
Did you skimp on the details of your UFO report because you knew it was irrelevant? No, that thing was detailed as fuck, despite knowing it was completely irrelevant, right?
But my problem with conspiracies in general,
that's what I'm saying.
If you hear about a conspiracy theory on the internet, it's already a really bad conspiracy theory. All the actual conspiracies you never hear of. If you've heard about it on the internet, it's probably not true. You know what I mean? Because it's a bad conspiracy.
I get what you're saying.
If billions of people know about it, it's a really, really bad conspiracy theory to start off with. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Look at the experiments.
The MK Ultra?
Japanese.
Well, there's MK Ultra. There was Tuskegee. There's.
Tuskegee was a big one.
Yeah, there's Tuskegee. There's MK Ultra. There's the
Mind
stuff
control.
at the insane asylums. There's all kinds of them.
Well, the insane asylums. Let's face it. That one was more. That still has ties into MK Ultra because.
Yeah, I'm not saying that conspiracy theories never happened. There were obviously conspiracies. I'm saying if you hear about it on the internet,
no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I'm saying. There were whisperings of MK Ultra, especially after that guy got was it thrown out a window or off a roof, or supposedly
I don't remember
or whatever. Anyway, there were whisperings of it. You know, there were people talking about it. It's this weird thing happening, right? But like.
Yeah.
Especially after,
but that's the thing.
Was it in France or was it in America? I think they were planning on doing it in America,
what?
but they did something
MK
else
Ultra?
in America. Yeah, somebody.
No, MK.
No, I know.
So I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
I know what.
Okay.
They released in a small town. They had experiments going all over the place, but they had released in a small town somewhere some like. Some like they just blasted this town with hallucinogens.
The LSD thing.
Yeah, they just blasted a whole town with people with like LSD and didn't tell them shit.
Hold on before we continue, because again I always love clarity. I think we should clarify to anybody who may or may not know what MK Ultra is, and for starters, let's just say shit was fucked. It was a fucked idea.
It was
basically
an attempt at mind control.
Exactly. It was like an attempt at mind control by injecting lethal doses of LSD into people's system and
There-
basically seeing what would happen.
Now, there was a special emphasis on mind control, and that was their biggest drive. However,
Mhm.
on a broader spectrum, MK Ultra was very interested in any kind of psychic phenomenon, be it telekinesis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, this is
Right,
where
like-
this is where you get a lot of the experiments where they showed people like different bunkers and things like that, the outsides of them, and wanted
Astral
people to use
projection.
astral projection to be able to see what's inside of it. And they
wanted
were
to-
experimenting it.
Sorry.
Just so we're clear, when it comes to the astral projection thing, like these were bunkers that they already knew what was inside. Like they knew the layout of it, but they wanted to see if the astral projection, because this is back in the time frame when everybody was saying that they could astral project or that they were psychics and things like that. So they wanted to see if there was any validity in the claims. And so they showed people pictures of the outside of bunkers, knowing damn good and well what was inside of them, to see if what they said was inside of it matched up to what was actually inside. And whenever these astro projectionists would sit there and describe what's inside the bunker, it was completely different to what they knew, and that's how they figured out that astral projection was bunk science stuff.
It was debunked. So
There was
Yeah.
like it was like that one person who they worked in the hospital and they kept hearing about near death experiences and like the person
Mhm.
levitating, and so they hid like they put these like the regular playing cards, right?
Right.
And they would put them like on top of a shelf where you couldn't see.
Mhm.
Unless you were
Yeah.
floating above it, right?
yeah,
And-
they never got a hit. Yeah, no one ever-
Nobody ever got the number right, or
Yeah,
nobody
still-
ever guessed
right.
the card right. Not
I
ever.
think
Yeah.
they're still doing that to
And-
this day. Yeah, I think they're still doing those. No one's ever got it right in about 50, 60 years.
Yeah. And so it was just so hilarious because I mean, let's face it, like any agency is going to go after anything and everything they can in order to have the edge up on the enemy or, other nations. And so, like, in a way, testing these theories out or testing these people who said, yes, I can astral project, like, it made sense because if you can have somebody without actually having to be in a place, know exactly what's in that place,
Yeah.
that gives you the edge on fucking everything. Like, there is no secret that anybody could hide from you at that point.
So I don't know if it was before they decided to start injecting lethal doses of LSD into people or after.
Yeah.
But at some point,
Yeah.
they decided to just like gas an entire city with hallucinogens and see what happened.
Basically. And the funniest thing is, but the funniest thing is about when it came to MK Ultra, is like the CIA was keeping that shit so far under wraps that a lot of other agencies had no fucking clue what's going on. And then finally, the president was like, "Hey, we're hearing some talk that y'all doing some fucked up shit. Is that y'all?" And the CIA was like, "LOL, yeah, that's us, guy." And they're like, "Hey, stop that shit." And they're like,
Well,
"All right."
my point was though, like he's like, if people are talking about it, look, a whole city got gassed with hallucinogens, and you think people aren't talking about something? Like,
Yeah, too. Like,
or
I will agree.
Watergate was.
Yeah,
a
I will agree. I
conspiracy.
will agree with you on that. I will agree with you on that. Like, people do talk. Like, I mean, there's the whole entire phrase that two or more can keep it. Like, three people can keep a secret when two of them are dead.
Right, exactly.
Type of shit, you know.
Yeah.
And because, like, when it comes to conspiracies, it's things about conspiracies that always gets me. Oh, conspiracy theorists, I should say, is they always say that, oh, there's whistleblowers out here doing this and that and the other. But the thing is like, when you look at it, 9 times out of 10, I seriously doubt the validity of these people when they say that they've like for instance, when it comes to UFOs, I've seen so many people who came out and said, yes, I used to work at Area 51 and they were testing on aliens there and blah, 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 blah. And they're saying all these different stuff. And I'm just like for instance, there's one guy who said that the reason why you have Bluetooth is because of aliens.
Because
And
of
I was like,
engineered alien technology.
yeah. And I was like, and he said that they were doing this, and I was like, that's way before like Bluetooth was ever even a thing. So why didn't it come out sooner? Why did they wait like 20, 30 years to come out with Bluetooth?
I wouldn't
must
say
put,
that
like,
because
50
the
years to
truth is, I wouldn't say that because anybody high up in the military will tell you. And yes, I did know somebody, not just with that clearance, but somebody else who had DoD clearance for Lockheed Martin. But not the point. The point is, anybody who works that high in the military will tell you that you cannot imagine the technology that they have right now. If you have it, it's because the military had it 50 years ago, right? Like we are that far behind them. And so I just because the military had it, it didn't mean we did, right?
Well, so the thing is like when it comes to some of that stuff, yes, like absolutely. Like for instance, a lot of the stuff that that we have today when it comes to satellite phones and things like that we can buy, even night vision goggles and stuff, which is what I used to work on. The military had all that stuff decades and decades on it, but like when it comes to Bluetooth, that is like I can understand if they had it like a decade before, because like when you think about Bluetooth has like it has some very great capabilities. Like I'm using Bluetooth right now for the headphone that's in my ear, and it has great capabilities, but I don't see Bluetooth as something that they would wait 50 years to give the general public.
Because for it to
That's
be
like
any use, for it to be any use, the enemy would have to be using Bluetooth as well. If it's only the military that's got it, just using it between themselves, it's pointless.
Not necessarily. Not if you're using it to be inconspicuous, right? Because think about it. Before people had Bluetooth in their ear and everybody was running around talking to themselves, right? Like your only option was to have a flip phone or something up to your ear. So if you're trying to be conspicuous or you're trying to keep communication with your hands free and not give away your ability to do so to the enemy, I would understand having something like that, especially pre-drones.
I think a lot of that will come down to the money as well. How much money can we make from this? So selling it to the open market, they're going to make a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? So they're not going to keep it secret for that reason as well.
Well, I think that, or by the time you get hints that by the time you get hints that a competing country is coming close to the technology, you're going to release it anyway.
Yeah, just so they can be first.
Right. Well, because you're ahead of it already, and B, because why not profit off of it, mainstream and minimize the use that the competing country can get out of it.
Yeah. But there's not going to be any hacking going on if you're the only one that's got it. You can't like hack the other country's Bluetooth if they, if they don't realize it right. Yeah.
And there went Serb.
Yeah, but I think when it comes to Bluetooth,
Hello, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
I did. But like I was saying, I think when it comes to Bluetooth, I think a reasonable amount of time would have been like a day.
Never mind, he's back.
Not.
That's fair.
I don't know. I just to me personally, I think a decade would have been a lot sooner.
Right. Well, like I said, with intervening circumstances, sure.
Yeah. But the thing is like using alien technology to reverse engineering, like that was just idiotic because like whenever you actually look at the Bluetooth, it was at the time whenever it came out, like let's just say that it came out 10 years before everybody else got it. Or you know what? I'll even give it credit and say 30 years. Let's say it came out it was 30 years before the general public had it, that the military had it. All of that stuff was from pre-existing things that we already had. Like, that's the biggest kicker. It's like, he's like, we had to reverse engineer and alien stuff. It's like, no, my guy, that all came from shit we already had. Just nobody thought to combine that shit together.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's like
obvious.
interesting that alien technology works off of Earth's power sources.
Yeah.
Right?
Just a coincidence that it uses all the same radio towers and everything like that. Yeah.
Now, so before we go any more, since we're talking a little bit about aliens, is everybody's thoughts on the existence of aliens?
I think they probably exist, but they've never got to Earth just because of the vast distances that
All right.
is required. Yeah.
I don't discount the possibility they exist. I think it's really weird though that we automatically imagine them as being like way more advanced than us. Like, for all I know, there's a planet out there of cavemen, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe they're all primitive beings who haven't evolved yet.
Obviously,
Or,
not all aliens are going to be advanced. You know what I mean? There are probably some
Right,
species
no.
out there who are less advanced than we are, and there
Right,
are
but
some that are more advanced.
But even then, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look at our movies. They'd be like, don't go there. They'll shoot you. They'll dissect
Yeah.
you. They'll experiment on you. Just don't fucking go there.
Why is it not like? Why is it not like human beings are like a sexual offender? You know.
Yeah. All I know is that.
Stay away from them. Yeah.
All I know is if I was an alien and I saw movies like Independence Day and even some of the old school horror movies about aliens, I'd just be like, you know, I'm good. I don't want to visit Earth. I'm good.
Well, I think, sadly, I think if an alien ship did crash land here, like, just if it did, one day and aliens were real and just bam, it happened. I think the closest to reality would be District 13.
You mean 9?
So this
is it District 9?
Yes.
Yes, District 9.
It is.
Sorry.
Yeah.
District 13 is in the show I'm watching. Don't ask.
So I kind of would agree there. I kind of would agree there because I forgot who it was who said this, but I watched this one video and it was a short clip of the video, and the guy said it might have been Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't remember, but the guy said he said this is what he said. He said that all life has this tendency to want to conquer. Like if ants, for instance, were bigger, they would do everything they could to conquer and take over, the areas. We see this in all species, like all at least species here on Earth. And so whenever it comes to aliens and like visiting Earth, like I would agree with the whole entire District 9 thing, because if all life has a tendency to want to conquer and take over, it would make sense, at least here on Earth, it would make sense that life elsewhere would have the same objective as
But
to conquer.
In District 9, that wasn't their objective. Their objective was
it
to
wasn't?
rebuild. No, the people in District 9, the people are like afraid of them, and they don't want them in the population.
Yeah,
So
the
they
ship broke down. The ship broke down. They were supposed
So
to repair it.
they're trying to. They're getting pieces. They quarantine them off. They're like surrounded by
humans
prey.
never tried.
Oh yeah, the humans never tried. They surrounded them by like protesters with signs, like being all hateful. Like it was crazy, and they're just trying to get pieces of their ship to get the fuck out of there. They did accidentally turn that one guy did accidentally turn into an alien. I'm still not sure how that happened, but they fixed their ship and they got the fuck out of there. But the people were hateful.
Well, then I would say more like Battle LA, where like they would conquer, because that's, like I said, that's as long as the species here on Earth are concerned, that has been like that's all species like objective is to
Well, how
take
do you
over something.
explain if whole life is to conquer? How do you explain bonobos? As far as I know, they don't go around attacking other tribes. They just have sex. That's
Wait,
how much
who?
their whole life.
They are randy
Bonobos.
little buggers.
Bonobos?
Bonobo monkeys. Yeah.
Huh?
They're randy little
They
buggers.
are still very territorial as well.
I don't.
Well,
Okay, I
yeah.
think you misunderstand the word conquer, right? I don't. By conquer, I don't think he means every life form's drive is to go out and like obliterate and subjugate, right?
Yeah.
You could conquer a plot of land by
okay.
gardening and making.
Every life form is
No, what I'm saying
So
is you can conquer a piece of land by gardening it, right? By making it sustain you. There's
well,
conquer doesn't always mean to like
well,
subjugate.
I get that, but wouldn't then be better to say that all life wants to? I'm gonna mute you a sec.
well, so
So okay, let me unmute too, because sorry, I was trying to say something and you were making noise. I know you're at work. Just go ahead, whatever.
and can I hear it now?
Yes,
Yeah, you've
I
heard
unmuted
Oh,
you.
okay. Sorry. I think it's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. Because like for instance, while most species ideal is to conquer in the sense of like take control over things such as like she said like when you garden a piece of land,
It'd be better to say
conquering
that
that land.
all species want to survive. That's better.
Yeah,
It's better to
in a sense, yes.
survive.
But
But in a very simple way,
so yeah,
if the aliens wanted to conquer us, we would already know about them because they would have already done it. If aliens
Oh,
are
yeah.
visiting Earth, they obviously don't want to conquer us. They want to do something
yeah,
else.
but that's the thing.
Yeah.
Which that is kind of more terrifying.
Yeah. What are they up
If you think about it hard enough, that's a little bit more terrifying. But anyways, what I was saying was that that while one species may want to do X with this area, if another species lives in that area and they don't want that other species to do it, they will obviously that's where conflict comes into play. Because let's say, for instance, I want to take over Athena's channel. Athena does not want that. Athena doesn't want to make this the Russ.
You're already doing that, asshole.
So I am. But anyways, so Athena doesn't want that. So Athena is obviously going to fight back or whatever. You know, and Athena can do that in several ways right now. Like me can sit there and kick me from the stream and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But like, let's say I also had those controls where I can mute and kick him out of the stream and stuff like that. We'd constantly be doing that until one of us was a victor. And so if aliens would come here, they'd want to take over. Like just like this is now our place too. We're gonna live here. A lot of people, especially because there's going to most likely be a language barrier that we are not going to understand what they're saying. Even if they're saying we want to live here like peacefully alongside you, we're not going to understand what they're saying unless they find a way to make it to where we could understand.
Well, I don't think you necessarily agree with District 9 though, because the premise of District 9 is they are severely the aliens are severely outnumbered, right? They don't have a chance of conquering. They just want to go home where everything is conquered, right?
Yeah.
So, but they're not. There's that language barrier.
I have such an issue with the word conquered. Why can't you just say survival? Because conquered conjures up, images of what you said about subjugation.
Because the thing is like, so the thing is it may not even be about survival. Because, like, for instance, they were surviving just fine on their planet, but them stretching out beyond their planet could be for a multitude of different reasons. In which case, like, for instance, we lived like before Europeans came to the Americas, like they were doing just fine over there. I mean, yeah, some of them didn't like the fact that they're being ruled by a king who like put the church, like he was over the church type of shit. But those weren't the ones who came exploring. These are people who just were searching out for, what is beyond their little world that they have here.
No, that's a
and so they were conquering.
No, It's a myth that the people who originally came here were fleeing persecution from England. I just want that to be known. All right.
Yeah.
These people had already fled persecution from England
Yeah.
and were living in Holland. But
The-
they were afraid they were becoming too Dutch, and they wanted a place they could establish their own beliefs.
Yeah,
So
they
no,
weren't.
they were
they
not
weren't
fucking
necessarily-
fleeing persecution.
They weren't fleeing
Well,
persecution.
some. Hold on.
They actually wanted to persecute. They wanted to start up their own little colonies where they had their own little rules. They weren't fleeing persecution. They wanted to persecute.
Okay. So
Yeah,
one of the
well,
things that we
except
also.
for Georgia, they just
Oh.
England's debtors prison got full, and so Georgia happened.
All right. I don't know what.
So one of the things that we also have to realize is that there was not just one group coming from Europe over to the new colonies. Like there was multiple different migrations, including some who were fleeing persecution. So it's not that all of the people coming over here were fleeing persecution, but some of them were. It's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of the same of like whenever the first people came over, like there was multiple different waves of migration from Eurasia over into the Americas. And the same thing happened with the Europeans. Whenever the people in Holland, yes, they did not want to become, they thought they were becoming too Dutch, so they came over here. But there was also people who were living in England at the time who wanted to flee England because of multiple different reasons, including the fact that they were, like you said, prisoners who just were like, "Hey, we're just going to send you over there to the new colonies, guys. You're just going to go over there, okay?" So, like, there's multiple different things.
It's funny that it actually happened a lot earlier. I like the story of the guy before they discovered America officially. A guy had been back and forth between America and England so many times. He started off in America. He became an English servant, and he went back and forth, and he landed back at America, and he actually asked in perfect English for a pint of beer. Yeah.
For a pint of beer.
Yeah. They were like flabbergasted that how do you know that? Yeah.
Yeah. One of the most fascinating things is the fact that I love that Vikings were the first one. Well, Vikings was more of an occupation. The Nordic people were the first people over here in the Americas, and just reading up on that was like very, very fascinating itself. But whenever I was talking about coming over here, I was mainly referring to the actual explorers who were like from originally the first ones were of course from Spain, because England at the time they were very, very, how can I put this? They believed at that point in time that
Be careful.
Huh?
Just careful. I'm English. Just careful what you
No,
say.
I said that's debatable.
I don't know.
I mean, Spain was here pretty early, but France also had a fur trade pretty early. Beyond that, there's pretty strong evidence that the Vikings or someone similar to the Vikings were here way before that. So
Yeah, no. I covered that. I said the Nordic people because it's actually in Red Saga, I think it was, or there's the Vinland Saga, which explains how somebody, I forgot which Nordic person, but he was going to Iceland where he was meeting up with Eric the Red, and he got caught in a storm, and it blew him too far south from where he was supposed to be, and he saw land and was like, holy shit, let me go back to Eric and let him know. So he goes to Eric the Red, tells him about this land he saw, and then the Nordic people eventually, this is where that part kind of gets a little fuzzy, because in one saga it talks about how Leif Erikson, Eric the Red's son, was sent out. But there's another saga that talks about how it was actually Eric the Red's son-in-law who went over there for the first go round.
And can
But
I just say,
regardless,
so
do what?
Going back to the Bluetooth thing. Bluetooth, the name is actually after a Nordic kind of king, King Bluetooth.
Yeah.
With
Yeah. Yeah. That's who it was. Yeah. So there's like conflicting stories with that when it comes to that. Huh?
Is that interesting? By the way, Serb
Yeah.
has been here for like 10 minutes, hasn't said a word.
Twice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't got much to say about aliens or Vikings.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, Eric the Red is actually Manchester United, the football team's mascot. The mascot is called
nice.
the Red. Yeah. Little red guy with a pitchfork. Yeah. Because they're also called the Red Devils. So he's a little red guy with a pitchfork.
But yeah, no. So they had set up a good, like, from all the archaeological evidence we found, they were set up in most likely Canada, where they developed their trade route, and they stayed there for like 10 years, and then they just left. Wasn't exactly sure why they left. Like, I haven't came across anything that explains why they left. But they said, yeah, we're done. It may have been that the traveling was a little bit longer, and it was becoming to the point where it wasn't being enough, like there wasn't enough profit in it for them. It could have been a number of reasons, but all we know is that they were there for 10 years and then they left. Some people, there was one saga that's really.
They could have accidentally gone home and found out that their country was at war and their ships were now confiscated.
Yep, there was that. Yeah, that's right. That was also going on. I almost forgot about that little tidbit. Because back home in the Nordic countries, there was a lot of fighting over who's going to be king over the Nordic countries. And so they get home and it's like, oh, hey, guess what? Yeah, you can't go anywhere now. And it's like, oh, okay. I guess we're in a war now. Awesome. Thank you. But there was one saga that they said it's like very, very highly like contested, because according to it, I don't remember if it was Leif Erikson or Eric the Red, but one of them went down the American coast and went as far down as like the Florida Keys. But there's like a lot of heavy contention about that, because while it talks about going down the coast, like the farthest down that we've seen of like Nordic stuff as far when it comes to archaeology goes, I think the farthest down, and you may be able to correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think the farthest down is like North Carolina, maybe South Carolina.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. And so like they were like, yeah, we don't know how true this is since we don't have any other corroborating evidence to support it. So they're just like, it could be, could not be. We don't know. But I love that. I love the stories. I love reading about that. But I've been talking way too long, so I'm gonna let some other people talk.
No, you're fine.
Gee, really?
It's very interesting.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know that you talk too long.
Look. Whenever I'll tell you this one last story, and then I will shut up.
Don't feel bad. I've been talking a lot too.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this one last story before I shut up for just a little bit. Whenever it came for my mother's funeral, I was one of the people who was going to get up and speak, and because I am very, very long-winded, my aunt had to remind me, you only get 5 minutes. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm going to need to bump that up to 30. and they just ignore me from there on because they're like, no, 5 minutes is the limit. So I know that me being long-winded is something that I am. So I'm gonna need you to, bear with me in time, especially whenever I talk about things that I enjoy.
No, you're fine. It's been good. I've enjoyed
Well,
it.
well, I really wish I was long-winded, but I get talking, and then I get too frustrated, I stutter and I stop. So,
Yeah,
you know,
you stutter so much. You're long-winded twice. So, you're long-winded twice in a row. so even that. Can I just say hello to Matt the Human as well in the side chat? Good to see him.
no, you can't say hi.
Okay, I retract that statement. sorry, Matt.
Well, I don't need permission to say hey to Mac. Hey, Mac.
I know, I was just fucking with Wild Heart. Hey, Mac.
Return of the
Hi, Mac. Although I will point out now, that I've shut up, y'all all seem to want to shut up now too.
We're lost now. Yeah, carry on.
But I don't know. I was just saying Mac is my buddy. Mac is my buddy.
Mac is cool. I like Mac.
Mac, you
Mac
are
is-
my brother.
Mac is one of my favorite peoples in the whole wide internet.
Oh, and here I thought it was me.
Oh, no, actually, it's me. I'm the second. Or third, I guess.
I'm
Wait,
about
no.
10. If I'm lucky.
Hold on. I think Mac is second. I'm third. And Pixie knows the first one.
You think so? I don't know. I know Mac is the only one I can call family because Mac was on the phone with me when my sister's drunk dialed me. I called him in. I conferenced him in. I did. I conferenced him in when my sister's drunk dialed me.
I
would have loved to be there.
And then I was sending him all the pictures that their drunk pictures that they were sending me. I was sending them to Mac while we were sitting on the phone with them. They were hilarious.
That's close enough to family. I think that counts. That's fine.
Well, Hana means family. And family means no one gets left behind.
So come on, Midnight. What's going on? What's going on in Midnight Town?
What's going on in Midnight Town? Don't you mean what's going on in
Yeah.
Nightmare Town?
What's
I
going
am
on in
Jack
Midnight
Skellington. Well, no, I'm not. I'm too fat to be Jack Skellington. I'm not even a skeleton yet.
You've got a skeleton. That's close enough.
Yeah, so do you.
Yeah.
It's trapped inside.
Yeah.
Bust out of your body. Be proud of being a skeleton.
I will be one day. I think everyone will. Yeah.
Everyone is a skeleton. Everyone will die, and everyone turn to dust.
I've got a question for Midnight.
Nihilistic. What?
I've got a question for Midnight. Did you actually call your stream?
I couldn't think of a title. So I just.
Fair enough. Just
Whatever.
asking.
I have a problem.
Yeah.
I have half a package of Rolos because I opened this thing at like 12:30, and it's almost 12. It's almost 11. It's almost 11:30 p.m. And I've only managed to get halfway through. And my nieces and nephews are not expected for a while, and now I don't know what the fuck to do with this chocolate.
Chocolate.
I tell you what. Send them to me. I'll tell you what. Send them to me if they last till next month.
Maybe Super Munchkin will want some Rolos.
I've had Rolos in years, so I'll take some.
She brought them. She brought me Rolos and brownie bites because she loves me.
Caramel and chocolate, they're very nice. I'm a big fan of Rolos.
Yeah. Well, and we both love brownies, so she brought me this whole thing of brownie bites.
Hopefully they're not medicated.
because
I
he loves me. That is this, and also this, and also this, and also I have some more stuff. Oh, the dab bongs over there, and then the pipes over there, and then yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. When you said Rillos, I heard Rillos, and then I heard maybe my your nieces or nephews or whatever would want them, and I was like, I'm sorry, what?
No, my nieces and nephews are not going to be here, but my super munchkin, maybe my super munchkin will eat them when she gets off work. But she will be off. She will be home in the next 30 minutes or so.
Like I said, I heard. I didn't hear Rolos. I heard Rillos.
Oh, got you.
As in,
Well, what the fuck?
yeah, what people use for smoking. And so I was like, I'm sorry, what now?
I've actually
Yeah.
started some diet, low carbohydrate, high protein diet. It's mainly salad, fruit, eggs,
Nice.
steak. Yeah, it's going well.
Super munchkin
So-
is 18 now.
Ah,
Yep.
Empty Nest is going to kick my ass soon.
Yep.
Can she drive in the US? Is that 18 or 21 in the US?
She started driving when she had her permit when she was 15, and her license she got it when she got her license when she was 16.
That's younger than in the UK. I think it's
Yeah.
18 in the UK. Yeah. Oh, it might be 16 actually. Yeah.
No, she got her license at 16, and her permit means she could drive with a licensed adult when she was 15.
Wow.
And you can also get a hardship when you're 15.
Oh, it's drinking, isn't it? In the US, that's 21.
And smoking now.
And smoking. Wow.
Mhm.
Wow, that's
Wow.
harsh.
21. I mean, it's not. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop people from smoking younger. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Texas tried to hold out last time. They were the last one standing with the drinking age. They didn't want to raise the drinking age. And it turned into like an all-out fight. So finally, Texas was told, if you don't raise your drinking age from 18 to 21, then we're going to take money away from your DPS, basically like your transportation and public safety department, like for your roads and bridges and things like that. And Texas was like, you can't do that. You can't withhold our money if we don't raise the drinking age. And they said, yes, we can. And it went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, yes, they can. So Texas raised the drinking age from 18 to 21.
Okay, but why could they do that? Is why? Because to me, it just seems like a political power move.
Because
I mean?
well, no, because
MAD was
so-
real big at the time, and abolitionists were still really angry that they had gotten rid of prohibition. They were angry about that, and they were really loud, and it was like to appease them. But now it's a precedent, right?
And on top of that, another big influence about that was the military personnel who were constantly dying in drunk driving accidents in a time frame where the military was not as robust as it is now as far as like people coming in. And also this is a time frame whenever like the draft was like, if I'm not mistaken, the draft was like very, very much a big thing that they needed to draft people in. And if you're constantly dying, it's one of those things where it's like, it was a contributing factor. I'm not saying that it was the biggest motivation, but on top of the MAD and the prohibitionist, they were just like, okay, yeah, no, we got to do something about this.
It seems like it seems like this shit is more relevant in the U.S. than Italy, because the drinking age in Italy is like 13, and even before that, kids are allowed to drink a cup of wine. So
Okay,
it's
so
like
I moved around a lot, but moving around a lot was great because I I don't know why. I just loved it. My sisters would be really sad. They would be like, "Oh, I have to leave my friends," and I would be like, "Yay, we're moving!" You know, like two totally different reactions.
Well, I mean,
So,
Right.
it allows you to see, it allows you to experience other places. You have to learn more
and
about those
so
other places and expand your horizons.
exactly.
It's not really that hard.
And the people that were worth keeping up with, I did. So,
Sorry.
yeah. So I was always like really excited to move. Wait, go ahead, Wild.
I was just going to say, interesting fact, it's actually legal for a 2-year-old to drink in the UK. In a public house, a pub. It's
What?
legal for 2 years.
I've-
So,
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm getting to that. I'm getting to something similar to that. Give me a sec.
as long as they don't buy the drinks, it's legal for you to buy a toddler, like a double shot of whiskey or
It's
whatever.
ridiculous to me, but hold on. So, in bouncing around, I always made friends with like I never had like a clique, right? Like I was the one that bounced between cliques. Like I had friends in all the groups. And I especially got along with all the foreign exchange students. I don't know why, but they freaking loved me. And one year we had 2 foreign exchange students at the same time. And it was Michael from Hong Kong and Lucas from Poland. And there was this whole running joke about how Lucas corrupted us and we corrupted Michael. Because Michael wrote us a letter about slipping vodka in the family tea, but that was beside the point. And he was so innocent when he got there. But Lucas, first day, I'm sitting there talking to Lucas. I think I was, oh my God, I don't even think I was 15 yet. I was probably 14, almost 15. And I'm sitting there and we're sitting on like, gym, the bleachers. And I was just like, yeah, so how do you like it here? Because he had gotten here before school started. He had gotten here 2 weeks before school started. So I was like, have you made any friends yet? He's like, yeah, I made a couple of friends. He's like, not many, And we're talking and I was like, so how do you like it here? And he was like, oh, it's different. It's very different. And I was like, why, Lucas? Just like, what are some of the differences? And I'm thinking, like he's going to talk about the weather or like the trees or the accents or people, something, right? No. He comes out the gate and he's like, well, he's like, back home, me and my friends, we go to a bar after school. And I'm like, Lucas, you go to a bar after school? He's like, yeah, we go to a bar. 8. I was like, how old were you when you started going to bars, Lucas? He was like, I don't know, 8, 9 years old. And I was like, do your parents know you go to bars? He's like, I think so, yes. He's like, not big deal. He's like, here, very big deal. And I was like, Lucas, what did you do? And you have to imagine, we're in this like podunk little town, right? Like, I mean, tiny little town. And I'm like, what did you do, Lucas? And he's like, well, I get here in summer. And I'm like, yes. And he goes, I go to a bar to meet friends. Very big deal. I was just dying laughing. But yeah, he was just sitting there and he was like, yeah, 8, 9 years old. We go to a bar after school, me and my friends, we shoot pool. No big deal. Okay.
See,
like, when
I
did
told you.
I will.
When did you have your I was like, when did you have your first drink, Lucas? He was like, oh, I don't know, 8, 9. Okay.
Yeah,
But
I will say.
but like he wasn't a big drinker. He would have like a glass with his food or something.
and there's an
That's
argument
the
for
funniest thing.
that. Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
go on. But no, you go.
Oh, I was going to say, and that's the funniest thing is like, whenever you look at people over in Europe where the drinking age is lower versus America where the drinking age is higher, you actually get a lot more people who don't become big drinkers in Europe because they've been exposed to it and they've been drinking because it's legal for them to do, at young ages. And so when they become 18, 19, 20, they're like, when people are like, oh, hey, you want to come drink with us? A lot of them are like, no, I'm good. And whereas here, we tend to have a lot of people who are, because it's, oh, you can't do that until you're this age. They're like, oh, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
It's like not forbidden. So, like you said, like they grow up just it being normal. So if you tell a child that you can't do something, that's the first thing they want to do. So
You say
Yeah,
that, and interestingly enough, there's the joke that we corrupted Michael, right? Because he came in innocent,
Mhm.
and he was the one writing us a letter about slipping vodka in the family tea. But me, on the other hand,
Yeah.
I am
No,
a female, and so I skipped right past all of those clubbing years, all of those bar years, nope. I was pregnant at 20. I had Super Munchkin the day after I turned 21. That was it. And that was back before they said you could drink when you were breastfeeding, right? So, like, and then I had a toddler to take care of, and I didn't have time for that nonsense.
yeah, you don't
And
want to
so, like, I never had the clubbing years. I never had the bar years. People tell me about their club stories or their bar hopping stories, and I just stare at them blankly because I cannot relate at all. This does not exist in my timeline.
Does not compute.
Yeah,
Does
you,
not
you
compute.
didn't. You
I
didn't
mean, I
miss
went to
out.
the closest thing I've ever done to clubbing was I wasn't even drinking, right? Like I was 18. And it was back when you could get into a lot of places when you were 18, but they would like mark your hand so you couldn't buy alcohol or whatever. And oddly enough, though, I was a little bit tipsy, but only because my godmother pretended to be my mom and got me alcohol at a restaurant. She did that when I was 15 and then once when I was 18. Anyway, so but I wasn't drinking or anything, but I did go to a dive bar, and then I did go to a place to go dancing with one of my friends. And that is like the closest thing that I can come to because I just did not have those experiences.
Yeah, I found out due to my dad doing this for me, but I found out that at least here in Texas, and I think it might be the entire United States for all I know. But I found out that you can drink beer. You can get a beer at 18 at a restaurant and things like that, as long as your parents are the one who find it.
Now it used to be younger. It used to be younger because the first time the first time because I was in Galveston, Texas.
Oh yeah.
The first time my godmother pretended to be my mom to buy me a beer was at the Rainforest Cafe.
Rainforest Cafe, yep, on Seawall.
Yes, and I was 15, almost 16.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I didn't
it was.
look it.
What year was this?
Oh my God, I've never looked my age. Let's see, when would I have been 15? 15 is what? Freshman, sophomore? Sophomore, right?
Sophomore, yeah.
So I want to say 2001, 2002, probably 2002 because it would have been. No, it would have been 2001. It would have been It would have been the summer before going into the 2001 school year.
Okay. But then it may have still been that young whenever I was graduated from high school because I graduated in 08.
Yeah, because I graduated in 03.
Yeah. So I'm only a few years behind. Oh my gosh, look at us being old people now.
I know. I have a super munchkin going to college now. Granted, I was a young mom, but I have a super munchkin going to college. I used to tell myself, I will be 39 when she graduates. That's not that old. I'm going to have so much fun. And now here I am. And I'm 39. And she's about to graduate. And I'm like, I'm so old, and empty nest is going to kick my ass.
Oh. No. It gets like so. So my oldest nephew one day, he sat there and told me, and I quote, he said, "Hey, Uncle, my first initial, do you know this really old song?" And proceeds to tell me about a song I listened to in high school, and I was like, "Kid, if you do not get out of my range of grabbing you," because I am about to strangle you. How dare you say really
Oh,
old
no.
song?
No, here's something worse. So I was talking to somebody at like what was it? I was in a costume. I remember being in a costume because I was so uncomfortable. I was like, this dress is really itchy and I want out of these 6-inch heels.
Right.
Morticia. I was Morticia. Okay, so we were at a con because Super Munchkin was Wednesday and she talked me into being Morticia. That's what it was. Anyway, so I'm outside on this like patio. And there's a guy like who just randomly starts talking to me. And so I'm talking back to him. And he asked me what kind of music I listen to, and I just started. I was like, I kind of listen to a bit of everything, but I'm pickier about some genres than other genres. And he was like, okay, well, if you were going to scroll somewhere randomly and you didn't want to have to change stations, where would you stop? And I said, probably a rock station. And I said, locally, either this one or this one. And he said, oh, so you listen to classic rock? And I said, I love classic rock. Hold on. He said, name some classic rock. And he deadpanned me, like serious deadpanned me. And I was like, what do you mean, name classic rock? And I was like, okay. So I started listing them, right? I'm like, okay, there's ZZ Top, and there's White Snake, there's Metallica and Megadeth. And like, how far do you want me to go down this list here, right? And so, we got into Queen and all that. And he was like, oh, so you mean like actual classic rock? And I was like, what do you mean? And he said that Korn was playing on a classic rock station. And I was like, you're shitting me. You are shitting me. He was not shitting me. No. Korn has made it to the classic rock station, you guys.
Yes, and I'm so terribly upset because, like, all the songs, like, I'm talking even, like, Nirvana and Creed and all of them are hitting classic rock stations. And I'm like, oh.
I was like, I know I'm old when I go into the doctor's office, and I'm like, but those were my jams.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like one of those things.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, so you have a great day.
Korn is 30 years old, the band.
Yeah, I know. I am so old. Yeah, but like I was in junior high, like rocking out to Freak on a Leash and and then high school, I mean.
Well, if you don't want to feel old, don't look up what the band members look like now.
Korn and Godsmack and Prodigy and Disturbed.
I was listening. Yeah, I was listening to like Green Day's, like American Idiot in high school and stuff like that.
Me too.
I was listening to Green Day's American Idiot in high school, and then all of a sudden they're playing it now, and they're like, "Oh, all these old bands," and I'm like, "Don't do this to me."
You know what?
Not right now.
I honestly still love that album. American Idiot was a great album, and I still love that album. Of course, so was Basket Case and Dookie. So, but
yeah, of course.
Can I make a double hot take?
Still jam that, sure.
Green Day is not punk.
Green Day is punk.
But no, Green Day has punk flavor.
Let me tell you why Green Day isn't punk.
I think they have punk flavor.
I swear, if you say something about them going against MAGA and shit like that, I'm gonna lose my shit.
No. They're not punk because they can sing and play instruments.
Oh my god. Okay, that was funnier than I thought it was gonna be.
You know who I think is kind of like pop punk, but is really good, and I like their music? Bad Religion. Bad Religion.
Oh, please do not tell me y'all don't look. I never listened to Bad Religion, but I know who they are. So please tell me that y'all are still like around my age where y'all know who Bad Religion is.
Oh my gosh, Grains of Wrath, Sorrow, American Jesus.
Yeah.
How do y'all not know these songs?
How do you? Oh my gosh! So that's the thing is like I said, I never listened to Bad Religion, never once. I was not I really didn't care. Like I think I heard one song and I was like, not for me. But I know who they are. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't even know who they are.
I like 3 of their songs. Okay, punk rock song. I don't love it, but it sounds so much better in German for some reason. I recommend listening to it in German. But beside the point, the only 3 songs that I really, really like by them are the 3 I just named. But I just remember it's American Jesus, Grains of Wrath, and Sorrow. And I want to say one of them is from Maps to Hell. But I'm not sure.
And the rest of the people here on the panel just apparently don't seem to know who the hell Bad Religion are.
That's okay.
It's not okay, okay? I'm feeling way too old. And I'm way too young to feel this damn old.
I'm older than you, so just, it's okay.
Only by a few years. Stop. Oh, Lordy. But yeah, no. I sat there and then the same nephew that I told you about, his younger brother was messing with something that is an antique. It's like from the 40s or something like that now. And which is weird enough to say that makes it antique, but you know, it is what it is. But anyways, so I told him, be careful with that thing. It's older than I am. And he just scoffed like with this. And I was like, how can you hurt my feelings without uttering a single damn word, kids?
No, the first time I amazed Super Munchkin, I was only in my like late 20s. She had said something and she was like, you're older than this? And I was like, sweetheart, I'm older than Google. And she was like, you're older than Google? And I said, Super Munchkin, I'm older than the internet.
Right?
She was like, no. And technically I'm not, but as far as the public internet, I am.
Yeah. The I mean, that's the same with me. It's like I was born in 1990, and the 90s was when the internet was first kind of coming around into the like public. Like a lot of companies had obviously been using the internet for now decades.
And the military.
Yeah, and the military was using it for even longer. But whenever it came to the general public, it was just barely coming out. And so, I mean, heck, my mom actually worked on at UTMB, where she basically got sent to school to learn all the coding stuff, so that way she can help transition from from the hard copies of files and stuff onto the internet, onto the computers and stuff like that. And so
what were the things before before the floppy disk? There were the giant disks, and before those there were like the spinny things.
Yeah, but that was way before then. She was working on DOS, basically. Like that's what she trained on, and that's what she learned how to do was DOS.
You know, I have a screen.
Is anybody familiar with DOS?
Yes, we make fun of one of my we make fun of one of my work programs because I have one of my work programs is literally as old as I am. Like it was built in 1984. And I was born in 1984. But it shows because when you pull it up, okay, you remember those like in the computer labs as kids when we were real little, when we would play Oregon Trail and like the math games.
Yeah.
We would go to the library and there'd be all these like beige, clunky Apple computers lined up, and they had those weird gray black screens with bright ass green type.
Yes.
That is what this program looks like.
No.
I am not kidding. And like you have to go in there. You have to go in there and navigate these screens in a ridiculous manner. They'll be like, go to high level 1, low level 4, or go to high level 6, low level 10. And
does anyone remember the game Treasure Mountain?
You're just like navigating. It's crazy. It's crazy. But luckily,
did you just say the game Treasure Mountain?
Yeah, you played as this guy in a hoodie. Like you could only see his eyes. You went around collecting keys, or like I remember playing it in school when I was younger, but it seems like no one remembers it. I don't fucking know.
No,
How?
I
Okay,
think
hold on. When you say whenever I was younger, like what years are you talking about?
I mean, late '90s, early 2000s. I was born in 1984 as well, so
no.
Oh, okay.
you know,
Okay. Sorry, I had to make sure, but I didn't know how old you were.
Yeah, I don't remember Treasure Mountain. I remember Monkey Island.
Yes, everybody remembers Monkey Island. I've never played Monkey Island. I still remember Monkey Island.
I don't know. I thought everybody remembered
Was
Oregon
it called
Trail. I
Treasure-
thought
I don't know
Oregon
whether it
Trail
was
was the
called-
one every.
Oh,
I remember Oregon Trail. Oregon Trail was so.
oh.
No one thought about it, but it was such a dark video game.
So I thought
yes.
about it. I was like, oh my god, everybody's just dying all the time. Why am I?
Everybody's
doing
dying of
this every
dysentery.
day? Or cholera, or Lord knows what else.
Or you drowned in the river.
Or like the Indians would shoot you.
Yeah. Like, I remember.
Like,
I
You always
like,
died.
I still remember the first time I beat Oregon Trail.
Oh my god, I was so
You know,
excited.
it was like me, my wife, my kids. We leave, have all these supplies. A whole bunch of horrific shit happens. Everyone dies but me. But I'm in California. Yay! Or Oregon.
I
Wait,
think
is that
the one time I think the first time I won, I had actually joined up with a band going out. And there were like 10, like there were like something crazy, like 5 or 6 wagons of us going, right? And by the time we get there, there's like 2 of us.
Wait, does it have multiple endings?
I mean,
Yeah.
kinda.
Well,
You go in, you pick your supplies, you load up as much as you can, and you get everything you think you're gonna need, and then you head out on this journey. And then somebody gets bitten by a rattlesnake, or somebody gets dysentery, or somebody gets cholera, or you get shot at by Indians, or God knows what else. Like all this crazy shit happens, and people are dying off, and you're just trying to make it over there before you die off.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get as many
Oregon-
people in your party over there with you.
Mhm. Oregon, let's just say Oregon Trail was one of the very first like RPG games that you could play.
My poor wife spent days shitting out the back of the wagon.
You didn't stop and rest?
I
No
was
wonder
so
she
close.
died.
I was so close. I didn't want to lose.
Well, that's why you lost her. You didn't stop and rest and let her hydrate. Find a fucking water source. Oh, but then you'd have to hunt. And
Yeah.
you'd have to have ammunition to hunt.
I don't remember if I had ammunition or not.
And then you gotta find people to trade with. Like, I'll give you this pot if you give me that fucking blanket. Like,
It's more like it's more like I'll give you this blanket for that gun. Okay, thanks, pal.
Like that. Come on, shake, 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 shake it. Damn freaking music at work. Lordy. Gosh, don't we all feel like old people now?
I mean, we are. I think. How old are you again?
We heard. Come May, I'll be 34.
Okay.
I remember getting on to the BBS and arguing with Theus as a kid.
You mean
So
IRC?
I was.
No, BBS.
No, BBS.
I never heard of BBS.
Vacation Bible School. Vacation Bible School?
No,
Come on, man.
BBS.
Oh, BBS.
The bulletin board system.
Oh, well.
Oh,
why didn't
okay.
Yeah, you would.
say
You would
forums. I don't know.
You would take the phone and put it unhooked over the modem, and then dial into people's servers.
So I
Wait,
was
what?
actually. Yeah.
No,
So I was
like,
actually a. Oh, good.
well, no, I just would say, okay, you took the phone, put it on the actual. Confused the hell out of me. What?
Yeah, this is before the 56K modems and stuff. This is like just before like the 28 something, whatever it was.
Well,
I'm not even sure what you're referring to right now. Are you talking about like the phone system?
Yeah, your modem used to use the phone,
Oh yeah.
like the
My super
not the
munchkin is
dial-up.
home and I gotta go now. Later days.
bye, Pixie.
Bye, Pixie. Yeah. So believe it or not, I was actually very well. I wouldn't say very, but I was religious whenever I was a child. So I would not have gone as a kid into anything to debate theist. I just went to church every Wednesday and Sundays.
As I say, my
I
family's
was a
very much not normies, so I never even
oh
been
we
to
were
church as a
oh
kid.
we definitely were. Well, you gotta think. I also grew up in a small Texas town, where they don't ask if you go to church; they ask where do you go to church. So, like, the chances of you growing up to being a normie is very, 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 very high. And so,
I want to consider myself a normie. What is a normie anyway?
somebody who basically does all the things that quote unquote normal people do.
Yeah.
So, like for instance, especially here in the South, it's normal to go to church. It's normal to believe in like be a big advocate for like the military. It's normal to be Republican. It's normal to be conservative. Like all these are normie, what would be classified as normie traits. And so, like, what makes you a normie will definitely differ depending on where you live. So, like, for instance, if you lived over in, I don't know, say, some parts of the Netherlands, there's places that where it's like now uncommon to be religious. So you'd be a normie if you're an atheist over there. You'd be a normie if you do everything that the great majority amount of people do there. So normie is kind of subjective in like what classifies someone as a normie, but that's just that's what a normie is.
So a conformist.
No.
Yes, ish.
Kinda.
It's a conformist, but like I don't know how to exactly
I get the
phrase
point.
it, but like
It's fine. I get the voice.
yeah, it's a form of conformism, because you are conforming to what the normal people do in that area, but like it's only a conformist to somebody who is anti-conformity. So basically, like if you were a goth person in the South, like you would definitely classify those people as conformists, normies as conformists. But now even conformism has just like been used for just about anything and everything, that even that word has become kind of useless these days, because a lot of the right tend to use the same terminology to describe people on the left. Like, so for instance, whereas, especially here in the South, if you were to be a conservative, to be a Republican, to be very much like the way I described a normie to be. Like the you would say that the woke people are just conforming to the woke mind virus. They're conforming to them, so they are the true enemies of blah 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 blah. And so it's getting very very weird. They use the same language we use, but they're using it in ways that don't make sense. Well, don't everybody just stop talking at once?
I know. I finally got like everything in my browser the exact way I want it, and it fucked up all of my RSS feeds. I'm redoing all of my RSS feeds.
I don't even know what an RSS feed is.
Okay, so a lot of websites, not just news, but a lot of websites have what's called an RSS feed, and that it basically, if you have something that follows and looks for that, like looks up that feed on a regular basis, it will essentially download in a relatively well formatted but usually strictly checked format. So whatever you're using to look at the RSS, you can just go click on, let's say it's a news story, and the article will just pop up in the feed. So you don't have to go to a bunch of websites. You just all comes to one thing.
Oh, I know that a lot of podcasts, like whenever I was looking up how to do a podcast, they talk about RSS feeds a lot.
Yeah,
And I was like,
podcasts will have it. Well, it will update someone's RSS feed that they have a podcast that came out.
oh, yeah. I sat there and was reading that, and I was like, I have no idea what that means, but okay.
It's an internet power user thing.
Well, hopefully I'll learn about that with regards to my when I start doing computer science.
You're breaking up.
Classes. Oh, sorry, I'm getting far away from my phone. Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, what I said was, hopefully I'll learn a lot more about that stuff whenever I go to do my computer science classes. So that way I'm not stupid about that stuff.
Well, that would make you ignorant, not stupid, but yeah. Kind of weird if people use stupid and ignorant as they simultaneously, not simultaneously.
Well, I'm a dumbass in general, so I'm a dumbass in general, so I tend to use things interchangeably like that.
Just show my deck. I'm so proud of this. It took me so long. I'm gonna share it. I'll share it.
Well, I'm away from the phone, so I can't see it, but I am glad that you're proud of it.
What's this do window?
I'm sorry if you can hear the music playing here at work.
Look how nice and just streamlined this is.
Yeah.
There's my RSS feeds. Wikipedia. Oh, we're live. I'm not gonna show it.
Okay, hold on.
We don't want to see his porn. His RSS feeds is all porn, just all porn related.
Wait, okay. Do you want me to remove it?
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. How is this? I just realized
And here comes.
I wasn't gonna show like my portfolio and stuff.
Oh.
And here comes Midnight Sparkle to ruin my joke.
Well, what was your joke?
I had sit there and said his RSS feed is nothing but porn. I don't even think that's how that works, but you know what? It doesn't matter. It was a joke.
Well, I mean, it is rather late, so I could just go off and end the stream. So thanks for coming, everybody. This has actually has been a better stream than I usually get. So good night.